What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Tonight, we are going to continue our coverage on Hurricane Helene as it approaches the coast of Florida. And we have a lot to talk about tonight, and we have a lot of things to go over in a relatively short amount of time. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. But before we do, let's go ahead and introduce our guests tonight. We have Sakura. Sakura, say hello.
Konnichiwa.
Yep. We have Tristan. Tristan, say hello.
Hello.
We have Brendan. Brendan, say hello.
Konnichiwa.
Yep. And we have Ian in the stream as well. Ian, go ahead and say hello to the viewers.
Hey guys, I probably won't be here too long because it's a school night, but
That's fine. That's fine. But regardless of that, we're going to go ahead and dive right into it right now. So here's the situation that we have going on right here. Let me go ahead and get my camera on and move this over because we're going to go ahead and start with Tristan first because he has a lot of stuff to present. So Tristan, let's go ahead and get started on Helene as well as those two other areas of interest that you've been talking to me about all day that we need to watch.
Yes, so first of all, we're going to do a brief discussion on the rest of the systems. If anybody would like some more information, maybe Pat will go over them in another video. Subscribe to him. It's awesome.
Yep.
And so let's start. So we got Invest 99L and Invest 98L. They both have, especially with the way this has been performing, these have decently high chances. The National Hurricane Center goes a 40-40 for Invest 99L. And we got Invest 98L, which is also supposed to form. Here's the look of Invest 99L, and you can see it's a tropical cyclone, almost, basically. It might still have a front, but it is definitely warm core due to the convection, so we might have another name very soon. And here's the intensity guidance. Most of them stay tropical storm. One model goes cat-free. I'm going to ignore that because only two of them do. Most likely will stay a strong subtropical or tropical storm depending on the evolution later on. Here is Invest 98L, and as we can see, the thunderstorms kind of collapsed a little bit, but some thunderstorms are starting to blow back up, and this is how tropical waves function. They pulse in and out of convection and energy. Here are the latest model runs, and Pat might find this interesting. They have a wide range of solutions for
Yes,
Invest
they do.
98L depending on the future. And before we get to Helene, I just want to let everyone know and warn everybody about the Climate Prediction Center. They got Helene right, and they got a decent amount of the Atlantic right this year, so that's why I'm showing this. Southwestern Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean is still up for activity all the way until October 15th. Cape Verde has a better chance of being decently active all the way to October 8th. However, some activity may continue until October 15th. Now, it's time for Helene. Helene right now is currently doing tropical storm force gusts in Miami. Look at all these wind reports that are going on in parts of the Miami National Weather Service region by MBOT. Because like the Storm Prediction Center also did the day one marginal convective outlook. That won't be important today as it is almost day two. But there is a small risk of a spin-up tornado or two. We'll go over that a little bit later.
All right.
Here is all the wind reports going on with the system in the National Weather Service in Miami area. Also, earlier, Pat, we had a tropical storm force gust all the way in Jacksonville, Florida from Helene. That's how big the system is.
So
are
those bands are those the outer bands, or is that just part of the outflow being generated?
Yes, the outflow bands and showers
Okay.
from our band. Yes.
All right.
We had a tropical storm gust all the way in Jacksonville.
That's insane.
And we also had a tornado in southern Georgia from her outflow bands. So she is already doing some stuff that we don't like. Real quick, I do want to mention before I get to the main NWS picture, and a lot of people may have not known this, there is a high wind watch in effect from Thursday evening through Friday evening. East and northeast winds of 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts around 50 possible in the lower elevations. If you're in the higher elevations, some gusts to 70 possible. This is for East Tennessee and southwestern Virginia, and recently for parts of Kentucky. Your messaging might be a little different. So let's go over the two views we have right now. The snipping tool first, because I want to show you some watches that are not tropical here. if you are in this area right here, you are under, and this might be the wrong pen, but this area,
Yeah, I would
this
put
whole
that
area
like
right
in
here,
a different color, but yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was about to say. Thank you. This whole area right here
That's better, yeah.
is basically, I'm just going to highlight this whole area. If you're in this area, you are likely under a flood watch. And by tomorrow, if you are in this region, you will likely at some point potentially be under a tornado watch. Hurricane warnings, and this is the first time ever this has happened. This is crazy. Go all the way to, this might be a little more north, to Macon, Georgia. This is the first time in Georgia's weather history that a hurricane warning is in effect for Macon, Georgia.
How far did Michaels go?
Impressive.
How far did Michaels go?
Michaels only went to southern Georgia.
So, yeah, I know Macon's in more central Georgia.
Yeah, so this is the first time Macon, the city itself, has ever had that. Tropical storm warnings all the way to North Carolina.
Yep.
That is ridiculous. And if you want a better view of it, we can get rid of the snipping tool and look at the map. So we see some tropical storm warnings in effect. And Sakura would likely go over the actual locations. I'll be broad with these two. For parts of the eastern Yucatan and parts of western Cuba. The whole state of Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia is either under a hurricane or tropical storm warning. Parts of western and southwestern North Carolina, southeastern Alabama, it's also under tropical storm warnings. Excuse me, there are 2 counties, or 3 of them, in the Panhandle of Florida that are not under the warnings, but every other part of Florida is under tropical alerts. This is very important because Pat and I were talking about this a lot, and it finally happened. An enhanced risk of severe weather, 10% tornadoes, is in effect for parts of coastal Georgia and South Carolina, with a broad area of 5% from the South and North Carolina border all the way towards central Florida. Let's put on the cities here real quick for our viewers. Charleston, Savannah, Jacksonville, Orlando, Melbourne, Tampa, Perry. You are under the gun for potentially tropical tornadoes. 1 or 2 of them, depending on the storm relative felicity, could be strong. Here's the sounding from the National Weather Service in Tampa, Florida. We can see we already have a decent amount of cape. Yep. And look at the holograph. A really good holograph for tropical tornadoes. And look at the SRH here. Yeah. 211 at the 0 to 1 kilometer here.
What does 211 SRH mean in layman's terms? Like, how
it basically
conducive
means
is
there's
that?
a lot of spin in the atmosphere.
Okay.
There's already a lot of spin in the atmosphere. And the hurricane is not even close yet, and it's strengthening. So combining with the trough and the friction of the land, that SRH will likely grow.
Brendan, did you want to say something very quickly?
Go ahead.
Wait, what?
Did you want to say something real quickly about the SRH?
I was saying spin to SRH. No, I think his explanation is good. But okay. on a serious note, the only thing that I will just kind of establish is that, remember that the frictional component acts as a slowing force, right? So the more so expanding of the SRH, I think, has more to do with the latitudinal component as it does with friction. But that's just my 2 cents.
Sure.
As far as that, though, I think you had a very good explanation, so thank you for that with the SRH. That's just my own little critique there. Be careful with the friction part. That actually acts as a slowing force. It acts as drag. It's not going to really expand things. And latitude, storms that move with latitude with height, then you factor in the Coriolis force. I would actually argue the Coriolis force probably is more of a factor than the frictional component, because friction's a very small magnitude. But anyway, we're getting more granular with that.
All right, Tristan.
Yeah,
all right, Tristan. All right. Daniel, you want to say something real quick? Go ahead.
Terms. I was just gonna say, Brenton, that's more technical meteorologist terms.
Yeah. In layman's terms, it means pretty good conditions for tornadoes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even in the National Weather Service in Miami, which is farther away from the storm, they even got a small photograph with SRH at the 0 to 1 kilometer of 82.
Yep.
But lapse rates of 5.3. So we definitely do have an atmosphere capable of tornadoes. We even had a tornado confirmed in southern Georgia earlier today due to one of the outflow bands of Helene. So it's pretty capable.
Yep.
Weather Prediction Center rainfall chart. Matt's about 15 inches for parts of North Carolina, Georgia, a small part of South Carolina, and Florida. Here's the mesoscale
Virginia
discussion
is getting
earlier
stuff
today. For extensive rainfall with the trough angle combined with Helene's moisture as the outflow pushes north. And then there's another one actually a little bit associated with Helene too for parts of southern Virginia into North Carolina. This is more frontal, but as we can see, the moisture is influencing the East Coast weather. Today we have and we need to talk because this is one of the situations you never want to see in a tropical system and a trough together. It's interacting with the lift of the Appalachian Mountain. There's already flash flood warnings going on around that area, and there is a high-risk bullseye from the National Weather Service in Greensburg and Spartanburg, Orleans, and there's a moderate risk all the way to parts of eastern Alabama. A slight risk is also for Florida. That's because of the beginnings of the moisture of Helene also.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
This storm is going to be the big example of turn around, don't drown.
Oh, yeah.
Don't drive in flooded roadways. And
oh, yeah,
day 2
especially
is
with the amount of
worse.
storm surge that the system's expected to bring as well.
And it's making landfall at night. And day 2 is worse. More of Alabama is now under the moderate risk.
Yep.
Too high risk. And I expect these 2 high risk potentially to connect, actually. But that is just me thinking because of the trough, because of all the moisture that the trough is giving, combined with the lift.
Yeah, I see
and
what you're
because of
talking
Helene's
about.
moisture.
Yeah, there's a high risk in
for now,
Florida and another
this
one
is
in
a
the Carolinas and Georgia.
Yeah.
Guys,
But
I
for
have
now-
a quick question.
Sure.
Real quick. Sorry to interrupt. I see there's some tornado warnings from Virginia, so I have a question for Pat, Brendan, Tristan, and Sakura. Are these tornado warnings up here? Are they related to Helene?
Yes, because of the moisture.
Not
Yeah, I
necessarily.
noticed that. It just
No,
popped up
no,
on
not
the app.
necessarily. There's a frontal boundary. Oh, there's a not necessarily.
Warm front.
Isn't there? There's a boundary, a frontal boundary in the continents of the United States. And Brendan, you can expand on this a little bit. I may be wrong with this. That might be contributing to that, but I do think the outflow is helping with the moisture aspect of it.
Yeah, because I talked to my meteorologist earlier, and he was like, "There's a warm front with a stationary front right on the border of Virginia."
For
Also,
sure.
sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. Hey, everyone.
Well, and also, from a synoptic point, it's a great question. No, Pat, I think you nailed it right in the head pretty
All right,
well.
thank you.
I haven't looked too much into the boundaries. I guess from a synoptic point of view, you have that sort of, it's essentially a cutoff flow or a cutoff trough because it's kind of smushed in between those 2 areas of high pressure, one off towards the Atlantic, the other one off towards the Central Plains. And so it's really taken its sweet old time moving across the Midwest. And as it does so, it's infecting a lot of this Gulf moisture, believe it or not. And to some degree, you are correct about some moisture coming up from Helene, but a lot of it is derived just from the Gulf itself, right?
And
so,
I noticed something too, Brendan. I checked the temperature and the dew points earlier. The temperatures are like in the 70s, maybe low 80s, and the dew points are in the 70s. I
Very
mentioned
moist.
this to Tristan earlier too. I was like, the dew points in the 70s. Something's going on. So
and that's a whole. I mean, I know I don't want to deviate too much from the conversation tonight, but that's pretty much, it's a great question, but that's no, there isn't really much correlation between these two. But later on down the line, I think the conversation that will have to be had amongst the group is, are we going to see a little Fujiwara effect inlet?
Yeah.
Once the Helene gets it up to the low end.
and
that's a whole other conversation in and of itself, but that could be really interesting.
All right.
Back to talk to the viewers here.
Sure.
Turn around, don't drown. Don't even go into Appalachian Mountains. You don't want to risk landslides. And I remember there are so many storms where the moisture was just trapped in the Appalachians. And it was a horrible time. Camille comes to mind. Michael comes to mind. There's just... Don't go to the Appalachians. Risk of landslides. Turn around, don't drown. Don't encounter flooded roadways. It's not going to be a fun time.
And turning back to Helene, speaking of the inland states, for those of you that have been watching and for those of us that have been conversing about Helene the last couple of days, I think the one thing that's becoming a little bit more clear, aside from the impacts from the Florida Panhandle, is the impacts that this is going to have on Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
We're talking about a very high population center that could still feel the effects in the worst case scenario of a Category 1 hurricane. as it moves inland. Tropical to even hurricane force winds in Atlanta. And so, again, a lot of our conversation has been about the Panhandle. Understandably so. We're going to get into all that here tonight through tonight's conversation. So be sure to post your questions in the chat. If you have anything that we can answer for you along this discussion. But in terms, aside from the Panhandle, aside from the storm surge, the damaging winds, the catastrophic damaging winds that could impact the Big Bend, Panama City, this storm is going to be so strong and going to have an environment conducive enough where it's not going to weaken right away once it moves inland. So if you are in northern Georgia tonight, if you're in southern or central Georgia, you may not be under evacuation notices. However, you need to prepare yourself for the impacts of this system.
Absolutely.
If that means you're a business owner and you need to board up some windows, do it. If that means you need to take your proper precautions and maybe work from home that day as opposed to working at the office, that's fine. Because with these hazards, we're talking about winds. We're talking about flooding when Christian and Daniel have talked about too. The flooding concern is going to be there as well. So we're going to be talking a lot about the Panhandle tonight, but we cannot forget about the impacts to even Atlanta, Georgia, a very high population.
And we cannot forget the people in South Carolina and Georgia, especially with the Storm Prediction Center being kind of cocky with the tornado potential. That does scare me too. Even the tropical storm watch wording had some intense tornadoes possible. Some of them may be longer paths than normal.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And by the way, on day 3, if you think you're inland and you're safe from Helene, no, you're not. There's still a moderate risk and effect on day 3, but there's also a slight risk of flooding when Brendan talking about the Fujiwara effect. Because what's supposed to happen is when this storm makes landfall and goes north, it swings into the trough. So if you are in Kentucky, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, southeastern Missouri, northeastern and northern Arkansas, even parts of Virginia, even Washington, D.C. is under a marginal. We're expecting to get some stuff too. I think D.C., I think parts of Virginia might go into slight to moderate because of the way the trough has already been training the moisture. We might have a worse flooding situation than day 3 shows. But that depends on the evolution, right? But all I'm saying is for the next 3 days, Helene will be the big story of the United States. And this is from me to everybody. I think Brenda said the same thing. If you are in Florida, and if you are in that storm surge of 15 to 20 feet, and I'm going to use my one curse word here, get the fuck out. It's not worth it.
Oh, this is pretty...
You
know what? We're going to do 2 curse words tonight because this is a very important stream. And, yeah, we're going to do 2 curse words tonight. So, anyway, we got a $4.99 donation from Blue Wolf 313. First of all, thank you for the donation. Hello, guys in the chat. What do you think of the 2 systems developing in the Caribbean by September 30th / October 5th? It's pretty early to focus on. We'll definitely pay attention to it, but our main focus for tonight will obviously be Helene. I've been taking a look at some models for sure. But, Tristan, what's up?
I want you to share my screen because I think this is one of the most important graphics I will show today.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I got you. Just give me a second to...
Please do, because we need to talk about this because we don't talk about this often.
Yeah, for sure.
The river stages and the
But as to Blue Wolf's question, it's a little too early to right now, and also our main focus is obviously going to be on Helene tonight.
But I want to show how big the impacts are supposed to be.
But thank you for the donation, by the way.
The impacts from Helene's surge or flow is supposed to be so big that even the areas around Washington, D.C. is expecting a moderate flood to minor flood stage, especially in the mountains. We're expecting multiple major stages and even some major flood. If you were from Atlanta all the way to parts of western North Carolina, they have catastrophic flooding impacts possible, considerable all the way to southwestern Virginia. Of course, considerable impacts for Florida, but honestly, that might be more storm surge related than flooding, depending on how the band's set up. I know there's a high risk of flooding over there, but we also got to consider this. When there is onshore flow pushing into the rivers, where is that rain going to go? It's not going to go anywhere. So what that means is your rivers are going to rise up because they can't escape. The water can't escape from all that rainfall. So it's also going to be a bunch of river flooding.
All right.
If you are near rivers, you need. I will say this. I hope the officials are doing this. I recommend you evacuate from the low-lying areas near river.
Well, let's
If you
wait
are
for
in the path
local
of this
officials first to make that judgment because
Yes,
they know better than
that's
we
why I
do.
said I recommend.
Okay.
I do. I said
All right.
recommend.
Sorry, I missed that part.
I do recommend that because, especially near the Appalachians, if those rivers get very full, they're not going to. Where are they going to go, Pat?
Yep.
They're going to flow.
Yep. You need a boat. You're
So
going to need a
that's why I'm
boat.
saying. That's why I'm saying. Please pay attention to your river stage.
Yep.
Please pay attention to that.
For
and real
sure.
quick, I'm going to show some satellite images of Helene because we've been watching all day. Here's
All
the
right.
storm right now. Look, just 6 hours ago, it was looking horrible, and now
Yeah.
look at it now.
Yeah, I know. We'll
It's
get
doing
to.
amazing.
I know.
right now.
We'll get to that in a second, but Daniel has been itching to say something for the last 10 minutes, and we've been talking so much about other things. I want to give him a second to speak and give a piece right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So on my own personal stream, I just deafened to talk about everything that this is not a storm that you can ride out. I think we've said this time and time again. You cannot stay there. And right now we're seeing the eye trying to pop back out. It's trying to get its act together right now.
Oh yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that, you know, I've seen a lot of devastating storms in my day, but, you know, no matter the fact of what intensity these storms are, if it's a category 3 or higher, it's gonna mess up the coastal areas pretty badly. Even a category 1 can do that. A good example is Nate.
Yeah.
That was a bad category 1, high end 1. What year was that? Category 1.
2017.
Yeah.
2017.
2017.
I always forget the year, but I remember how bad it was. I kind of ranted on my stream a little bit that you cannot. I repeat, you cannot. You should listen to all state officials.
Yeah,
If they
for
say
sure.
get out, state of emergency, get out. You have now less than 24 hours? Less
Yep.
than 24 hours. To
Much
landfall?
less than that.
Yeah,
because the storm
you
is
need
so big.
probably 12 to get evacuated safely.
To evacuate
hey.
safely without. Go ahead.
Pat, if I can interject a second, I know I've actually been dominating much of the conversation tonight, and I'll
No,
I'll-
you're
I'll
good.
let
We
him
really
chime in.
we
That's perfectly
appreciate
fine.
that.
That's fine.
I just know
you're the,
Daniel's
weather
have been
professional.
giving some time, wanting some time to talk, so I want to give him the
so
floor.
I will definitely bow out for a bit. I'll still stay in the call in the group discussion, but Daniel, I'll give you the floor, and others give the floor as well. But there's one thing I just want to mention. This just came across from and I say come across recently. I'll say in the last few hours from the NWS of Tallahassee. For those of you that have not read the area forecast discussion, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to turn your attention to this paragraph that talks about surge threat. It says this from Tallahassee, surge threat. There is a danger of catastrophic and potentially unsurvivable storm surge for Appalachian Bay,
Yep.
which is in the Panhandle. Storm surge may begin to arrive as early as late Wednesday night ahead of the winds. This forecast, if realized, is a nightmare surge scenario for Appalachian Bay. Please, please, please take any evacuation orders seriously to protect your life.
Absolutely.
That is from the NWS in Tallahassee.
1000%.
Begging people to get out because we are talking now in Appalachian Bay, for those of you that are familiar with Florida, and for those that are not, it's within that Panhandle region,
Yep.
in the Big Bend. We're talking about as high as now 20-foot storm surge.
Oh yeah,
20
and I wanted to bring that up as well.
If not, I was
Yeah.
about to get onto that as well myself.
So,
If not higher.
and we read these forecast discussions as meteorologists quite a bit, and weather enthusiasts.
Yep.
Many of you that are watching the stream tonight might not, and that's okay. It's a very technical discussion that the weather forecast offices put out frequently. But if you're not familiar with the wording of which they use, this is very disturbing.
Oh yeah.
This is this for a forecaster and meteorologist to be saying this. This is not hype casting. This is out of pure fear, because this storm is not your typical, right?
Oh no.
We're talking about a major hurricane that, based on its trajectory, as we've talked about tonight, is going to have wide range of impacts from panhandle of Florida all the way up into the Carolinas. Pat, we've tracked a lot of hurricanes together.
We have.
I don't know what it is with this one. Maybe it's just because of its wide impact that's going to have further inland than a typical storm. I'm very alarmed is the nicest way to put it. I'm deeply concerned for the folks that live there.
Yeah.
And of course, heed local officials and their advice to get out. I will just say this: if somebody tells you to get out, I will use another swear word: get the hell out.
That doesn't
protect your
count.
life. It does, technically.
Nah, we're
by
good.
default. Just get the hell out.
Yeah.
This is not something you want to play around with. Please protect your life if you're in the path of this and get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I would like to
if
say
you
real
do-
Oh,
quick.
no. Let Daniel talk first. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, Tristan.
You're
I'll
good.
get to you in a second. But please, it's not worth risking your life. It's just not. This is going to be unsurvivable storm surge if you're caught up in
Absolutely.
20 feet storm surge. People can die with just as little as upwards of 3 feet, if not even lower. This is going to wipe out the whole entire coast. It might pull. Remember when Michael literally made islands on the coast?
Yep.
It might do that.
Oh, yeah.
With
for
that type
sure.
of storm surge, it can do that.
Definitely it can.
But the whole coast is likely going to be a pancake of rubble
Absolutely.
after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. We have
Yeah.
the.
With that high of surge, it's going to. If you're in the midst of that, the chance of survival, if you're on the coast,
Mhm.
is next to 0.
Absolutely. And matter of fact, before I turn this back to Tristan, I want to make a couple of points very clear, and I want to kind of use this opportunity to pivot to the next thing I want to bring up and talk about. The first point I want to bring up, we're looking at 15 to 20 feet of storm surge right here. The
If
last
ever.
time I saw values of this much forecasted was Hurricane Laura back in 2020. I'm not sure what Ida's was forecasted to be. I think it was around 16 feet or so. I could be completely incorrect with that, but
This is pretty rare.
yeah, the last time
It to be
saw,
this-
yeah, the last time I saw a surge of this this much forecast was Laura in 2020, and that was a high-end Category 4 right there, and 10 to 15 feet from Apalachicola all the way down to the big end of the Big Bend region of Florida. You guys got to take this very seriously. 15 to 20 feet of storm surge, that's going to completely engulf your house if you live in a mobile home. That's going to completely engulf your house if you live in a one-story. Doesn't matter if you have a concrete slab or anything like that. It's going to be underwater, and the water's going to carry it out regardless. So you need to take this very seriously. If you're along the coast, you have to get out tonight. I'm not kidding. The governor of Florida has already told you to get out. You need to get out. And then for my second point, I want to pivot the conversation a little bit to this, but I noticed some people in the chat talking about dry air earlier today, about that going on earlier today. Well, what we've been noticing is over the last hour, convection's really been firing off on all cylinders, and not just in the core, but also in the outer bands, also over here as well. Just pretty much firing all around the storm and really just starting to get its act together. Also paying attention to hurricane reconnaissance as well, and they're finding a pressure of 973 millibars in this. The official public advisory is at 974. So definitely seeing that decrease of pressure as well. Question is, what's all this convection going to turn into? Remember, I've been telling you guys this pretty much the entire time, and through Francine, small things start adding up, and we're starting to see these small things really start to add up. But Tristan, let's go ahead and pivot over to this because I know we've been wanting to talk about this.
What's make this worse, Pat, is if you are from parts of southern Georgia to Apalachicola, there's already a string of flash flood warnings.
Yep.
There's already. The moisture is training. If you look on the radar, that's concerning ahead of a hurricane that is supposed to do even more.
Absolutely.
It's literally training on the track.
Yep.
And by the way, watch for a possible tornado warning or Apalachicola, a special marine warning in effect for water spouts possible. Just wanted to head up that too. So we might get another tornado warning. Maybe. It depends. But what really concerns me is that people are trying to get out.
Yeah.
And are already having tough time in the conditions because of the trough. Not connect to Helene, but the moisture from the trough connected with Helene or outflow.
Yep.
So this is a very tough situation also. So basically, this is kind of a worst case scenario for flash flooding because this storm was supposed to be moving fast. Not only did it slow down a little bit before the landfall, but now we're getting train and convection.
Indeed, we are.
So Pat, I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Sure.
There's been quite a few comments in the chat. I don't know if we touched on this. I was away for a bit, but a lot of people in the comments have been inquiring about the path. Some of the models, the latest ones, they're speculating have Helene moving further east than the cone. Can you give kind of your perspective on that? Any thoughts if that's the case or not?
From what I've seen from my guys in Storms United, this is actually moving a little bit to the west of, a little bit of the west of it. I've noticed. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. Hey, Alex, I know you're listening to this right now. Could you verify if it's west of the cone or not? I know Galaxy Bender was sending some stuff in regards to that. I will say this, and Tristan's been saying this ad nauseum. The stronger this is, the further east this is going to end up going. And at this current point, where's the cone going? At this point, for context,
I would like to correct you on that.
Sure.
Alex has actually been saying that. I was saying the more wobble east it goes, the better outflow it can get. But Alex has also been saying the stronger the storm, the east it could go. And even though it's not going to just suddenly turn hard right because of the high pressure off the high pressure off the Atlantic, Alex is right. This might turn a little bit more east than expected. But for right now, it is just a tiny bit more west than expected, but
Definitely.
not by much. So it's basically on the path of track. I just wanted to correct you there. That
what's up, Daniel?
Yeah, so I'm getting, I'm talking to Tony behind the scenes
sure.
in TMs. And, he's obviously tracking this himself. He just wanted us to be a little wary on what we say with the storm surge stuff. Primarily because, I will say this the best way. The Panhandle is mostly swampland. Mostly. But you have these isolated areas that have large populations where it will depend where the center goes. But with a storm like this, you're still going to feel it, even if you're not in the direct center.
Oh.
So, of course, still get out of harm's way. But even if this doesn't hit you, it's still going to be bad.
Yeah.
Still not worth the chance. So, I get where Tony's coming from with that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's going to be pretty catastrophic down there.
Yeah.
Winds alone spreading out. How
I have
far
a question.
are hurricane force winds right now?
What?
And this is a very important question.
Okay.
Daniel, you asked about the hurricane force winds. I just want to know when high tide is. Is high tide at landfall? If someone can confirm that for me.
I think higher tide is around landfall.
Yeah.
And also the moon is closer to Earth, so that doesn't help.
High tide timing. Oh, by the way, Daniel, go ahead and ask your question. I apologize for.
I just said, what's the hurricane wind field for Helene right now?
It's 25 miles.
Let me check.
It's tropical storm right now?
Tropical storm force winds is like 345.
Jesus.
Yeah, tropical storm force winds 345, hurricane force winds about 25.
Yeah.
According to the latest advisory.
That's crazy.
It's not surprising
way,
though. It has a tight the core's tightening up.
The eye is forming, kind of, a little scuffed of an eye, but it is forming, which is a little scary, which is making me think that it's getting closer to a Category 2 now.
Yeah.
More than ever, Because usually an eye like that starts forming around a Cat 2 in most storms. Oh no, something about this system just screams alarm bells in my head. I say that with most storms, but the where like all these panhandle storms have been catastrophic over the last few years. So
Like storms like Michael, Idalia,
even the weak ones.
Michael
you
was
know?
yeah. What are some other ones that have been?
If there's any good news, the landfall. This is what I got from the Panhandle. I could be wrong. At least the landfall is near low tide.
Yeah. Also,
That won't matter
go
if
ahead.
it's 20. So,
Yeah. Also, noticing on the latest frames on satellite, we're getting more convective bursts to the south of the overall general core of it, and it's definitely filling it in kind of the dry air gaps that's being left behind in it. So things are starting to go off.
Austin Simpson has given us a $10 donation.
Oh wow!
And the question reads, and I quote this: "Do you see any reason this makes a quick turn towards the east? I just think about Ian and the move east it did when nobody predicted it." I wouldn't say quick turn east, but I would say gradual eastward shift.
wobbles.
Yeah.
Will be more of a
Yeah,
gradual
wobble.
Yep.
wobble. It will turn a little bit more easterly direction, not completely, as it gets stronger. But then the high blocks it and makes it go north. And of course, you have the trough carrying it with the Fujiwara effect. But yeah, it would gradually and maybe wobble a little bit eastward, a little bit.
Yeah,
before
I would say
doing
that it'd be
depending on
wobbling
the
back and
strength.
forth.
Yep.
Depending on the strength.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you for the $10 donation. That's really appreciated. It's a great question to ask as well.
$10 super chat, yeah.
Yep.
will also-
Should I go ahead?
Yeah, go
and
ahead,
run
Sakura.
down the watches and warnings?
Sure.
Because
Before you do that, Storm
yeah,
Prediction Center
yeah.
did confirm our tropical tornado in southern Georgia. That's
All right.
one of the day.
All right, so these are
Go
the
ahead.
current watches and warnings. Nothing else has changed, but I do want to run over this now. Some of these watches and warnings you may remember from last night.
Yep.
A couple more have actually been added on. So the tropical storm warning is still up for basically most of Florida, including the entirety of South Carolina now. There's also a hurricane watch up for, of course, these areas still. Then there's a storm surge warning now up from Mexico Beach eastward and southward to Flamingo, Tampa Bay, and Charlotte Harbor. Charlotte Harbor is basically where Charlie made landfall, if you know your hurricane history.
Yep.
But let me go ahead and put on the static here. And you can see basically for probably the first time in a while, the entire state of South Carolina is in a tropical storm warning at least.
whole
As
state
well
is.
as Western North Carolina, most of Georgia, Eastern Alabama too. And then most areas on the Big Bend Panhandle area. And then of course the northeastern coasts of the Yucatan, Mexico, and then western Cuba, which is in a tropical storm warning. Now in terms of the inland impacts, after this thing leaves Georgia and rolls into Middle Tennessee, ex-tropical transition, it is supposed to. Now this here, we don't know if it's actually now. Chances are this thing will be slowing down over southwestern Kentucky, probably around the Mayfield, Paducah area, which, if you know your weather history, you definitely know why I mentioned that particular here, unfortunately. But then some of the spaghetti models actually take it a little bit further to the northeast, up Interstate 71, maybe parallel on the Ohio River, and it'll probably end up by Carrollton. I want to say by about Sunday in the afternoon, and then probably about by Cincinnati by later on Sunday. Yes.
Speaking of your area, they actually did a hydrological outlook for the Paducah NWS. You want to read it real quick? You did mention that. It's on the
Yes, thank you very much. I will do that. Weather deck goes and this is my weather office, by the way.
It
But,
is for the Paducah NWS.
Yeah, let me check the Paducah Weather Service office real quick for the hydrological.
It's on no mic and we can't find it.
Yep, I just found it, by the way. So it says here, the remnants of Hurricane Helene are expected to drift north and westward into the Quad State region. That's basically Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, that area of the mid-Mississippi region. The greatest chance of seeing widespread tropical downpours will be Thursday night to Friday night. So basically for almost 24 hours straight. Rainfall totals between 2 to 5 inches. I want to say locally maybe 6. Local areas of 6 inches cannot be ruled out either.
Definitely not.
Across the Quad State before the system gradually weakens toward the first half of the weekend. And then the greatest totals are likely to occur across western Kentucky into southeast Missouri. Now, if there's any good news, because western parts of Kentucky have been in a drought for the past month, they more than likely will be able to handle the rainfall that they get. Which is good, because if they can handle that rainfall, that's good. And I just got this through. The National Weather Service in Morristown, Tennessee, has issued a high wind warning.
Yeah, you were talking a little bit about that before the stream as well.
Actually, that's new. It was a watch before.
Oh wow.
So apparently they don't issue tropical storm warnings in Tennessee anymore.
No, they do. There's like 1 or 2 counties in Tennessee that are actually tropical.
Actually,
I saw the thing on Twitter.
Or watch at least.
Okay, so yep, there is indeed a high wind warning. 25 to 40 mile an hour winds, gusting to 80. Oh, good lord. I'm gonna. Let me copy this. I'm gonna send this in the.
Yeah, go ahead and send it over. I'd like to take a look at it. Yeah, that's not
by
good.
The way, by the way, if you guys are interested in joining the Storms United Discord server, I think Pat has it.
Yeah, I do. Let me go ahead and pull that. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quickly. Yeah. It's a little early to promote it, but let's go ahead and plug that.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 to 40 mile an hour gusts at 80. That's hurricane force.
That's our Discord server in the chat right there. Go ahead and join it. It's I know some of you guys are in there. I know you. I know Tony, you're in there right now. So yeah.
Now there is also a high wind watch for Letcher, Harlan, and Bell counties in the southeastern part of Kentucky. But I won't be surprised if they expand this to like Pike, Perry, Clay, Morgan, Lawrence, Boyd, Carter, Greenup, basically most of eastern Kentucky by maybe late week. Now this is from the hazardous weather outlook for most of eastern Kentucky for days 2 through 7. So heavy rain will be the biggest problem. And then they also say Helene could also bring wind gusts up to 40.
Hey, real quick, Chakra, speaking of that, right below where I did...
hold up. We got extrapolated pressure at 970.8.
Okay.
Yep.
That's not good.
Oh, Chakra, speaking of the flooding, I actually got you another graph for you from National Water Center. I didn't know they had these type of stuff.
Can you send that to me real quick?
It's already in the no mic. Just look below where I tagged. It's a 2 graph with 2 areas of concern that they did discussions about too.
Is that tropical weather?
No, it's not tropical. This is a area hydrological out discussion.
Which chat did you send it in? Which chat did you send it? Oh, here. Okay, thank you.
No mic, yes.
Put this up in the new browser, so that way I can the people. So the main area of concern here would be in West Georgia into eastern Alabama, the southern Appalachians. We're talking like Asheville and Murphy, the area that the Cherokee own in western North Carolina, southern East Tennessee, and then area hydrological discussion 274 concerns Southwest Virginia, most of western North Carolina, even all the way up to about Richmond, from about Richmond County up to Greensboro, and then areas further west.
Yeah.
Most of South Carolina from about, almost all of it, except for the beaches. The beaches should be fine.
Yeah.
Most of Georgia, and then the Florida Panhandle is obviously the one that is going to be yeah. By the way, they misspelled Helene. They spelled this Helena. That's incorrect. If you did not notice that. Going back to Weather Service Morristown, Tennessee, by the way, you can see there's already flash flood warnings in effect for portions of East Tennessee, which I can actually pull those up here. This is under Radar Omega. There's actually an observed flash flood warning for these counties here. I'm not going to read them all off, obviously. But it is east of the Weather Service office in Morristown, which serves East Tennessee. This one here, east of Knoxville. This one here for Hendersonville, Asheville, up to the Virginia border, which they continue into Virginia. And then these are here. These are kind of like due to the moisture from Helene, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you see that one lonesome tornado warning up there. These three down here are one of my biggest concerns right now, because these could also produce, pretty significant flash flooding.
Yeah.
In fact, there's Appalachian, Port St. Joe, Quincy, just outside of Tallahassee. They're already in a flash flood warning. So
that's
main gist here for flooding in the Appalachians right now is just turn around, don't drown.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you know.
Look at the amount of rainfall in the Appalachians and in Florida from Helene coming in, by the way. We're looking at potentially 20 to 30 isolated inches in the Appalachians and over a foot of rain in parts of Florida west of Tallahassee. That's a really concerning for flash flooding on top of a surge.
Yeah. Here is the rainfall graphic from Weather Service in Greenville, Spartanburg. 2 to 3 inches along 77. Areas east of there, about 4 to 6, maybe 3 to 4 in Union, South Carolina. 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 15 inches. These magenta spots.
Hey,
right
Sacker,
here,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I
are...
want to ask Tristan and Brendan something. Could you take a look at what Galaxy said, Tropical WX? I want your guys' thoughts on it.
Yeah,
I may have missed it. If somebody
It's right there on Tropical WX discussion. He just sent it like 15 minutes ago. It's still in there.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah, it's
right
it's the reflectivity and the wind speed stuff.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm looking at this right now. The reason I'm looking at this is I'm wondering if this is an intact core that we're looking at.
It definitely looked a lot
pretty
more
darn close
intact.
to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty intact. The core's intact.
Yeah.
And think about it, Pat. Just 5 hours ago, this system was. It like, for example, remember we always talked about hurricanes like someone with asthma earlier. It was being clogged up with dry air, suffering mucus, and now suddenly it's /outflow is allowed to breathe.
Yeah. And with that continuing ongoing here, it's going to only get worse from here. Yes, the eye might take a little longer, but even sometimes we can have upwards of a Category 3 that doesn't have a clear eye.
Cat 4
and-
actually, Opal did that with a
Yeah,
tropic.
sometimes Cat 4. As long as the thunderstorms are very intense enough to keep the storm going, it can intensify without the eye showing. I do expect it to show probably somewhere around Cat 3 and get some more consistency and
Yeah.
look a lot better. But until then, I think it's just going to gradually intensify until and eventually it's going to have to rapidly intensify if it wants to.
Daniel, the core is
keep up with the
intact right
models.
now.
Yeah, so the core's intact. So it's only a matter of time until the eye shows up. Fully. I mean, we've seen little pieces of the eye show up through the convection, but it's still going to be probably 12 hours until it actually happens.
Yeah.
I will say there is no light in the center, so it may not be intensifying.
All right,
as
Tony,
much
you can
as it
come
might
join
be.
the stream whenever you're ready.
And real quick, by the way, we just got a new wind report from the National Weather Service in Miami, 7 miles west of Julian and Hendry County in Florida. A 40 wind gust of 40 miles an hour at station K12 IS7, southeast of Fort Haven.
All right. We got
another.
All right. We got Fire Ant, aka Tony, in here as well. We want to bring your perspective on all of this. I know you've been chatting. I know you've been talking to Daniel behind the scenes. What are your thoughts on what's going on with Helene?
I truly believe it's going to be a Category 3 when it hits. Could it be higher? Yes. I want to hit on a couple of points, if you don't mind,
Sure.
Pat. Some of the areas that you were talking about.
Yeah.
If landfall is around the Big Bend area, it's going to be most likely in the swampy areas, from what I'm kind of guessing on the projection. As of right now, current data. Of course, that can change, which is a good
I can
thing
confirm
because
that for you.
because
I can confirm that for you if you want.
that would be a good thing because the swamp would eat the majority of that, and it's mostly state forest. However, your biggest threat is going to be more inland in Florida, where the streams are and the rivers. That's where you're going to get the flash flooding and the flooding, not so much the storm surge. Now, coastal communities surrounding the area of the Big Bend area will see storm surge. You're going to get storm surge as the storm passes the Pinellas County area, Polk County, Pasco County, all up and down the western coast of Florida. You will get some type of storm surge coming in. How much? I don't know. Depends on how close it gets to the shore. Further inland you go into Georgia and say North Carolina and the mountains and the Piedmont area, most of those rivers and streams, thank God, are dam controlled, and they've already lowered the lakes and stuff for the season, for the snowfall. So North Carolina and North Georgia, the Piedmont region of South Carolina, Asheville, those type of areas, that will be able to hold the water. What's going to be the flooding, it's going to be the smaller streams that are not dam controlled and the mudslides that could possibly happen from the mountains as the rain falls. I'm expecting, looking at the GFS, the intensity track, I'm expecting we may even see hurricane warnings in that area because it's supposed to be around a 972 millibar, possibly, which is still a hurricane.
North Georgia and western North Carolina, you said?
Yes, the Tennessee Valley area.
Yeah,
All
they
that's
already have
dam
high wind
controlled.
Yeah, they already have high wind warnings up for East Tennessee, by the way.
Yeah, which doesn't really shock me. And I literally just came from that area. That's where my mom and dad live, in that part of in that area near Asheville. I just came back last week, or 2 weeks ago, and so I know for a fact everything's all lowered on the lakes and stuff, and dam controlled and ready to go. So it's not like they can hold the water. They'll be able to hold
Real quick, I would like
anything that falls.
Kaiser said that trough interaction is underway. Alpha has massively improved, and dry air is really starting to get out now. So we are
That's a
starting to see
problem.
Helene do her big how do I say it? It's the biggest question, and we're gonna get our answer. What is she gonna do?
We got
Yep.
well. Yep. What's up? All right.
Is this a yep?
Yeah. All right. All right, Tony. Do you want to keep? Do you have more to add?
I will say this. It's not so much the category. Everybody gets focused on the category.
Mm-hmm.
It's the destruction that's inland. It's the tornadoes that spin up. And there's something else we're not talking about either,
What's that?
Cheers.
which hasn't really been brought up. Flying debris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
yeah.
people-
That's concerning,
and-
especially with the winds that's going to be with this thing.
And the electrocution hazards that happen afterwards when people start to go out, look at the damage with power lines still down. That actually kills a lot of people in Florida when they step out in the water. There's live wires under the ground and they just step on the wires and they get electrocuted.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Wow.
of dangers post-hurricane than there are during the hurricane.
Yeah.
Since Tony said that there is one thing I want to communicate to our viewers, please don't put your generator next to the house with gas poisoning.
or
Don't do that.
inside.
Don't,
That's a
Don't
even
do it
worse
inside,
idea.
'cause-
Yeah, please do not put your generators inside. And yes, I am originally from St. Petersburg, Tampa, so I do know Florida quite well. I do know the hurricane drills in Florida. I know what you all are facing. You're going to have to evacuate up and around that area, probably on I-10 or US 19, and the roads are going to get clogged. Just have patience.
Yeah.
You'll get out.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. All right. Yeah, we're looking at recon data coming in now. We found you probably just missed it, but we found extrapolated pressure of 970 millibars in there. Just a little bit ago. It was mission 12 going into Helene. I'm waiting for that dropson to confirm that. I'm also looking at convection as well.
Meanwhile,
What's up?
What's their
I
flight
was-
level at?
The flight level, let's take a look. It's
Okay.
at 700. It's at 700 millibars.
That's the flight level?
Yeah. Flight level
So that's-
700. Yeah.
That's about 3,000, 4,000 feet up.
No, that's
They're
a little
probably
bit
burning
higher
their-
than that. That's probably around, I'd say, 8,000.
Yeah, somewhere up and through there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
are they
going down
burning-
in altitude, but it's always constant pressure.
Well, that's what they do. So here's a lot of things. Here's something that a lot of people don't know about their hurricane hunters when they're out there. They try not to fly close to the surface just because of in-flight emergencies, because that has happened before.
Yep. Hugo of 89 is a prime example of that.
Yep.
There you go.
They usually only go down to about 1,000 feet. They can go lower, but they don't like to go lower.
Yeah.
it's not safe.
So they do a lot of up and down. They'll go up and come down, go up and come down, just to get better readings and more accurate readings closer to the surface than what they're getting at, say, wherever they're at right now, say 8,000 feet, 10,000 feet. They'll go down to about 3,000 feet, then they'll drop another one at about 1,000 feet. Then
Yeah.
they'll pull back up and
Yeah, for
do it
sure.
all over again.
Mm-hmm.
We just got an interesting Twitter post. A lot of people are talking about, and this is something that was not really talked about Helene until today. People are very scared about a disaster in the Appalachian rainfall. That I agree,
Well,
especially with
rainfall-
small rivers, and you're getting 50 to 20 to 25 inches, and there might be a little more because of the lift of the mountain too.
Yeah, what is that called? Orthographic lift? I
Yes.
think it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because remember the Appalachians are about 5,000-6,000 feet in the air. So
certain ones,
especially-
certain
especially in
ones.
western North Carolina, though.
Actually, the highest point in Western North Carolina, right as of today, is
Mitchell.
Mount Mitchell,
Mitchell.
or also known as Grandfather Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
The second highest point is Clingman's Dome,
Yeah.
followed by one high point on the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is 5,100 feet. It's at an Indian reservation for the Cherokee. It's right near Cherokee, North Carolina. And
So
I could tell you,
so that area is very, very high up.
We do got some news.
What's up?
Max Velocity tweeted, according to Hurricane Hunters, the Eyewall is closed. It's completely closed. Rapid intensification should begin.
Could you send that in here?
Yes, sir. I will. And Max
Pat,
Velocity is a pretty reliable person, and it's Hurricane Hunter.
I want to look at the data that they're providing with it. That's the thing.
Oh, that was just the tweet.
No, yeah, I'm not going to take a look at it. I'd like some evidence of that beforehand.
Yeah, and the way you can tell is go to your long wave infrared and see what the eyewall is doing.
I've always been on the long wave IR, so
okay. See if you can see the eyewall is completely closed.
All right. Here you go. Here you go, Tony. Here you go.
You should have. I'm trying to see which one is yours. Hold on.
It's Pat's Path Predictor.
By the way, while we're doing this, I find it insane that John's going to reform into a Cat 1.
You know what? That might. It is clouding over.
Yeah.
It is clouding over.
Oh, that's not good.
And I'm seeing a burst of convection starting to go upwards on the cloud tops.
It's also rotating quite a bit as well.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's trying to do a center relocation as well.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, I wouldn't go that far. The center's definitely pretty situated. It's just the convection around it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far considering this is an established hurricane, and they typically don't do something like this without disrupting the integrity of its core and the integrity of the structure of it. So
usually you're correct, but Dorian and Andrew were exceptions, and so was Katrina.
Yeah, Dorian relocated when it was still a tropical storm, though. I remember that very clearly. It went from
this
hitting.
Thing also relocate when I was a PTC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. I was gonna say, yeah, I know Helene relocated at center, and I've noticed that a lot of storms that relocate their centers often tend to be very big monsters.
Right back, y'all.
What's up?
I said, and I know. Okay.
Right,
but
go ahead,
I do know from what I've noticed in the past couple of years. I know storms that often relocate their centers often turn out to be very big monsters in the end. And oh dear.
Yeah.
This is scaring me a little bit.
With this hurricane, and I want to talk to people because the storm has gotten broader, and larger systems do normally mean that it takes longer to intensify. But because this has a lot more heat content and a trough to help it breathe,
You're cutting out a little bit, Tristan.
Strengthen a bit. Yeah, it will likely strengthen a bit faster than people expect, even for a broad system. But even if that happens, the threat, it doesn't matter if this was going to make landfall as a Category 2. The storm is so large that it's influencing the pressure and it's influencing the ocean. That's going to be her huge surge no matter what. That's a bunch of rainfall no matter what because of the trough and because of her moisture. There's still going to be tornadoes because of the low-level shear with the trough from the west. The strength only matters for the coast in a way. Normally, this time it might matter a lot more for more inland areas. But normally when we talk about big storms, we are more concerned about the influence of how big it is than how strong.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a takeaway. Even if it doesn't become a Category 4 and it stays a Category 3, we're still expecting devastating.
Oh yeah, no matter what. What's up, Daniel?
And here's a good example of that. Katrina, easy example.
Okay. The thing. Okay. Before I turn to Daniel, Katrina was a much larger system.
It was a different beast entirely.
Yeah, exactly.
Different beast, but that's just an example. What's a better example then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ophelia of.
I mean, you could just say Michael. Michael's the closest to this thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate saying that, but it's probably the closest comparison.
Yeah.
And I will say this, and this is what really concerned me. If it makes landfall where it does, they have not had a landfall since 1896.
Yeah.
So that is also very concerning. What? The last storm that made landfall where this system is going to was 1896.
In Apalachicola Bay?
Yes.
Okay, just to clarify, because we had Idalia last year in the Big Bend.
But by the way, Pat, what was the storm surge for Michael?
About 14 feet.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Yeah.
And Michael caused islands.
Michael was mainly a windstorm and not a surge storm. Completely different situation. This is going to be a surge storm no matter what.
On its head. Yep.
Yeah.
It might get higher than 20 feet in places.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, at this point, it's becoming a mini tsunami.
Yeah.
And remember,
just for sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick. Remember, the NHC said that this could be higher and stronger than 130 potentially, depending on what it does tonight. So surge might be a little bit higher. You never know.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
I just want to.
And that's why.
And just for reference, by the way, guys, the hurricane that the 1896 storm was the 1896 Cedar Keys hurricane, which produced at least a 10.5 foot storm surge.
So this is even worse than the one that.
Yeah, this is about almost double that storm surge.
What's the strongest storm surge we've had around this area?
Oh god, Michael comes close at 14 feet.
Yeah.
Cedar Keys 1896 comes close to 10.5.
Yeah.
So potentially in storm surge.
Yeah.
This might be the worst we've ever had in weather records.
Historically in records, this could be the worst.
Please get out of that area. Please listen to your officials.
Yeah.
Another storm
at this point, even if it hits the swamplands, it's going so far inland that water is going to get to the places that have population. Yes, the swamp areas will slow it, but it's only a matter of time. So that's, fully making a swamp landing in your backyard.
Yeah. Well, we have over 300 people in the stream right now. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Helps us get more people engaged with weather. I know, Daniel. I was about to get there. We also have a secondary look. We're actually co-broadcasting this with Daniel. So if you want to check out his stream, it's in the pinned chat above. So be sure to check him out and go subscribe to him as well, since we are doing a co-broadcast tonight. And he's been doing a pretty good job over there. So, yeah. It's
actually speaking of me, I should get my screen share going again so we can look at the 3D version of satellite. There you go, Pat.
Yeah.
All right. I know a lot of you guys the other night loved the 3D satellite with this, so let's go ahead and show that tonight again. I'm sure you guys are going to be really happy about that. One in the chat if you're going to be happy to see this right here, first of all. Second of all, Daniel, what are you seeing with this convection right here?
So convection is, I mean, you're seeing it clearly. I'm actually going to select this for the last 14 frames, so it's a lot newer frames.
Sure.
But this convection on this side has been, getting its act together on that side of the Eyewall, and then, obviously, just general convection overall on the other side. So we're seeing, some clearing near the center, but is it going to be full clearing with this? It might take a little bit more time, but honestly, at the rate it's going, well, I can't tell what the size of the eye is going to be because it's still very broad and jagged.
Yeah.
But it could be up towards of like 10, 15 miles, give or take.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Respectively. When it's fully when the full thing goes, I think this. Hold on, I'm just gonna see. Shoot.
What are you trying to measure? Exactly.
I'm just trying to see where current convection is. So this is what we have so far.
Yeah.
That's definitive. This whole back end, though, needs to develop and wrap around. So that's what we're waiting on, and if we look at even the last little bit, it's wrapping. So I think it's go time.
It's working its magic. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to update the recon. Okay, all right, they're going back in there once again. What's up?
I hate to interrupt, but 2 miles east of Key West, Florida, reports tropical storm, tropical storm force winds. A wind gust of 48 miles an hour was recorded at the Key West International Airport, associated with Helene.
What's the sustained wind on that?
My best guess would probably be about 30, 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, if we could get that data, that'd be interesting. Because if that's the case, then then that tells me the wind field's expanded even more. But I don't think that's the case. I'd say that they're getting gusts of that, and over there, 48 mile per hour gust. That's quite something this far out. But yeah,
that's for sure. Let me check. Now, Radar Omega has this thing called METARS, where, so 23 mile. So the KN station, weather station in Key West, 23 mile an hour sustained gusting 40.
Yeah.
And Marathon 20 mile an hour gusting 37. So.
Yep.
Most of the wind gusts are about 40.
Yeah. That's all right. Well, that's a little unsettling.
A little more disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, is that who I think it is who just came in here? Is that my boy Weather Kingdom?
Yeah, it is. I am back.
Yep. All right.
I was a little busy recording.
That's good.
And giving my own update. Yeah.
Someone in my chat just said, any of y'all from Florida?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
No, I'm from the Midwest. I've been to Florida, though. Yeah, I've been to Florida, though. It's a nice state, don't get me wrong. I was actually there last year, March of 2023, helping Hurricane Ian victims, gutting homes, getting rid of the black mold, getting rid of rid of floors, so that way a new crew could come in and start rebuilding those areas in the interior. I actually got to see where the storm surge level peaked, because that's where the water, you could tell with the water level, with where it ended up reaching on the walls of the exterior of the house. And seeing that really opened my eyes to this, to how much damage these hurricanes can cause. And it really drives me even more to do this. So Figured I'd
Yeah.
share that very quickly.
Also, I know this ain't about tornadoes and whatnot, but we got a tornado warning for all of Watauga County, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if. I was just about to say Francine. I don't know why I nearly said that.
Francine.
But
wow.
I was about to say that, but something tells me that this is kind of related to Helene's or at least the drop that's kind of helping out
Yeah.
Helene a little bit.
It definitely is.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What are you looking at, Weather Kingdom?
Satellite imagery. I'm
Yeah.
watching the potential beginning stages of rapid intensification.
Yeah.
If not already happening.
I wanted your thoughts on that because we're noticing a huge burst. Like, we're seeing several bursts of convection on the southern side of it that's really starting to rapidly wrap around. So I wanted your thoughts on it.
Honestly, right now, I think there is still some mixing out of that dry air from earlier, but I think that is pretty much gone now. And now with thermal maximum / thermal minimum, because that's usually when the sun goes down, right?
Yeah,
And when
it's
the
currently
sun
diurnal min,
rises.
but it's going to start, diurnal max is going to start increasing in the next 45 minutes or so.
Yeah. Real quick, by the way.
Okay.
And I know this isn't on 99L, but 99L might actually become a TS and get its name soon.
Okay.
That would be good. Interesting.
All right. They put out a
I'm
drop
dead.
send in the center. We're now down to 972 millibars.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I mean, one thing I am going to say, and I think this is why if people were looking at the recon with the winds, if you notice in the newest recon and compare it to earlier,
Sure.
there's definitely stronger winds. And yes, it's not that category 2 threshold just yet. But I think with all this deep thunderstorm convection, the winds, like he has right there on the stream, it will easily, I think this will easily, in the next recon, be a whole different story. And I do think a category 2 by probably 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then I think, or maybe even earlier, depends if we can see this.
Yeah, we have a new advisory coming out in about an hour, about 45 minutes. So I don't think it'll jump up that quickly. I hope not.
I said 2 a.m. tomorrow.
I think right now they might either keep it the same, if not go 90 miles per hour.
I could see either way, considering satellite estimates as well as recon data. As well
recon data is not showing like any sign of true intensification, but it's definitely showing pressure drops, though.
It definitely showing the pressure drops, but I could see them going 90. But whatever they do, if they do 85 or 90, I said this last night, their choice. I'd be fine with it either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Alrighty.
But I am,
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
We have a quick question from Mr. Chase over here. Can you explain why the low over the U.S. will absorb Helene instead of it going the other way around? That's more of a synoptic question. Hey, Tristan, would you like to take that one? I know you've been paying attention to that. Kind of.
Tristan?
Kind of.
I guess he's not there. I'll just go ahead and answer
it.
Okay.
If he's even around.
I'll go ahead and answer it. Part of the reason is mainly due to synoptics and all that. First of all, this is a completely tropical system right here. Once the only source of theta E it has is from the water temperatures. Once it makes landfall, that source of theta E is cut off and it starts rapidly weakening. That's why when it makes landfall, it weakens. And with tropical systems, when you lose your steam head, you're gonna get choked off and you're gonna get killed off pretty quickly. Just as with a mid-latitude cyclone, where basically after the mature stage, once you start occluding, you start getting choked out and you start dying off. It's similar situation up there. The reason it's mid-latitude, the mid-latitude absorbing the tropical instead of the other way around is because the tropical is getting killed off really fast, and it doesn't have its source of theta E to keep sustaining itself, whereas the mid-latitude cyclone does. So I hope that answers the question.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
After you're done.
I'm done.
One thing I've been noticing on the models is, remember when we were talking about more wind shear near landfall? Do you guys agree that kind of like went away? Because what I'm seeing on a lot of the models have intensification all the way up into landfall, especially the hurricane models. The new Euro has a 950. Still, I think is a little high, but
Yeah.
it still has strengthening all the way up to landfall.
And,
I want you guys' opinion on that.
Oh, hi, I'm back. That's
All right,
what I've been
Tristan.
trying to communicate, is that this system would basically strengthen towards landfall if not for a lot of ocean heat content because of the upper level with its outflow being able to breathe.
Yep.
Oh, real quick, I do apologize here for interrupting. I need to share this information that Sacra did real quick. Apparently,
did
a
mention
special update, we might get Invest 99L to be born. They did an 8080, an emergency update for
We
Invest
did.
99L.
Yeah.
Really?
Sakura talked about that.
Yes, I did, and I'm gonna mention this again. They might give it its name here shortly. They're probably gonna give it its name because that looks too good to not be named. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, the Atlantic's finally waking up, guys.
And now we have a
That's
70% in
right.
the next 48 hours with this system.
Yep.
So all of these areas are now in red, and we could be seeing a few names.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Definitely is.
Like we said, late year peak,
Mm-hmm.
late hurricane peak, maybe.
Oh, it definitely is. But regardless
So
of that,
yeah,
watching the satellite, watching recon data start to trickle in. Okay, it looks like Mission 12 is done for the night.
Damn
So,
it.
yeah, hopefully, when's the next recon mission going to go in? Teal 73. I believe they're Mission 7. Yeah, Teal 73. Which two planes are currently in there right now with Mission 12? With Air Force 303 and then NOAA AA2. Let me see. Oh, NOAA 42. Yeah. Yeah, I think we do have. Yeah, I think we have one more plane going in there. I hope we do. So. Yeah.
For when?
Not. I'm looking at it. It looks like it might. Yeah, it looks like it might be Yeah, it's kind of hard to read this sometimes. We had one go out earlier. Flight Teal 72 went out. And I think NOAA 42 also went out as well. That's the one that's still investigating it right now. The next one, which is Teal 73.
Wow.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is the satellite presentation is really looking good, much better than earlier.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It could. I think this could attempt an eye. I think this type of structure, with how the convection is spinning, I think this could be on the first stage of that eye on satellite.
It absolutely is. Look at how this has been evolving. It's evolving at a very rapid pace. You're seeing all that ramp up. What's up?
Hey guys.
What's up, Daniel?
Yeah.
Pat, do you see what I'm seeing?
Oh, let me share this real quick. Is that a potential eye forming?
Well, not just that, but it looks like a smiley face.
Oof. That's not good.
Where?
It's on Daniel's stream.
So, yeah, on my screen. So there's the eye, and there's the smile.
Yep.
Okay, wow.
Is it pulling a Matthew over here, or what?
No, it could be pulling a Michael too, because I was reading a little bit on Michael, and right when it was doing rapid intensification, they said
like a dolphin. Kind of looks like a dolphin.
Yeah. Go ahead and continue, Weather Kingdom.
They said they were talking about maybe of another skull face trying to show up on Michael in the rapid intensification. It's kind of weird because when we talk about rapid intensification, we usually some of these storms have unique faces, and sometimes you can see a skull. Sometimes it looks like a drawing, and I've been noticing that with rapid intensification. It shows a scary Halloween face, and I don't like it.
It definitely has, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, Daniel, I saw what you're seeing. That's not optimal. And I'm also really not liking how quickly this is starting to rotate around the center. That's going to probably be rotated and fully closed in the next, I'd say, 40 minutes or so at this rate, because we're already at 270 degrees.
I'd say an hour, two, maybe. For it to be fully closed off. For it to be fully closed off, yes, but for it to start to close off, I'd say another 40 minutes or so. Yep.
But I would say if this does form a complete eye on satellite, this will rapidly intensify tonight and could be a Category 3 by early afternoon tomorrow or earlier. Because once you start seeing an eye, we've seen this before, when we see an eye on satellite and Recon usually went in, that's when all of a sudden we were seeing 100+ mile-an-hour winds.
Yep.
And just rapidly intensifying.
Is this supposed to make landfall?
It's supposed
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow evening, it seems.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Anyway, while Weather King does that, I'm gonna go ahead and ditch for the night.
That's fine, Sakura.
I don't wake up too major.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope and pray to God I don't wake up too major.
Let's hope not either.
By the way, just want to say something. That it's also moving a touch slower than the forecast was predicting.
Correct.
Oof.
And actually now it's moving towards the east. Can confirm that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's made that. It's made a slight turn towards that area.
All right, Sakura.
Yeah. But anyway, I do have a couple final thoughts I want to give first.
Sure.
Honestly, just turn around, don't drown. And I apologize for my language, but get your ass out of that. If you are in a storm surge prone area, get your ass out of there.
Yep.
I love the accent.
I
picked up on that right away.
Yeah.
Get out while you can.
Daniel?
Pat?
Yeah, I'm here.
So you remember how we said the close off of the eye, right?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Look. With your two eyeballs.
Yeah, we got it.
Already.
I will say its eastern side is a tiny bit vulnerable. But that's going to change. Very.
What you cut out?
It, Tristan.
I was saying that the very eastern side is a little bit exposed, but that's going to fix itself.
At this rate, yeah.
Tristan, I swear to God, if you just jinxed that side becoming the strongest side,
I was going to jinx it anyway because of the troughing.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right, Sakura, head out. I didn't even get to say goodnight to her, but it's okay.
I mean, me and Tristan have said stuff like that so many times in the past, and it's just gotten worse than what we thought it was gonna do.
My boys.
Also,
Sebastian's in. Sebastian's in here. Hey, David. How are you guys doing? Not David Schlauer, other David I know IRL. Anyway, yeah, they're in the chat right now. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we're just watching this hurricane right now. Go ahead, Daniel. I apologize for interrupting.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I can pull it up on my satellite, like overall satellite on my thing that shows the influence of this storm. It's so big.
Yeah. It is very big. It's so big that part of its moisture is the reason why West Virginia and Virginia has been getting tornado warnings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Trying to
moisture.
I don't know if this. I think this is Atlantic region.
I'm trying to find
this might show it a little bit here.
I am. I'm trying to find a
Here's
new
the
satellite image for.
Oh, hold up. Hey, Weather King,
More
are you seeing?
convection.
Yeah, are you seeing what I'm seeing on Viz?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I already saw it with the jinxing.
Pat.
What's up?
The other storm out in the middle of the Atlantic has a bit of an eye.
Oh wow.
Whoa, what?
What's up?
Invest 99L
Oh yeah.
has a bit of a IEI
Oof.
center.
Yeah, it's probably gonna get named soon, but that'll be the new Isaac.
I mean, it's
yeah.
Finally, the I name curse finally might be ending.
You just jinxed it for next year. Sorry.
I hope not.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Now watch this thing go towards the UK and cause a lot of issues.
Yeah.
You know, would I be surprised? No.
I mean, it's about time they get something.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm noticing that as well. Are you guys seeing my visible satellite on my stream? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, it's
rapid intensification is underway, or
it's getting very close to it, for sure.
Once you see that eye closed, then I will consider it rapid intensification and recon.
I will tell you, once this eye closes, satellite estimates are going to start exploding. Also, seeing another burst of convection that's going to close down that one area of dry slot that's east of the eye. Noticing that as well. It's really just backing it into a corner, and it's going to get rid of it soon. So, yeah, all right.
I'm not liking this.
Can we quickly touch on the facts? I know, like, the storm is our main factor, but can we just talk about how the hell John reformed in the Pacific?
And it reformed further west, too, which shouldn't affect what Helene does.
Expected to become a hurricane again.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought John was dead.
Clearly not.
And by the way,
how did John?
The track. By the way, based
I'm
off
back,
the track, folks. Based off the track of John, not the John in here, the.
Damn, revenge.
Bro, this just got awkward real quick. All right, I gotta stop.
I can't continue on. Anyway, the trajectory of John the Storm.
All right, we got a $5 donation by Chris. Thank you for sending the chat. I appreciate that. I
have a question.
Can't stop laughing.
What's up, Weather Kingdom?
Someone said try my link. A lots of lightning. Does anyone have an? Yeah, but does anyone have like a?
Do we have any? Do we have a lightning view on that? Also, we got a $2 donation by Peter Moss. On infrared, it looks like a monster about to chomp close. Yeah, it definitely does.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it definitely.
What's the
does.
website Tristan used? Because he had a good website last night. He's deafened,
so. Hey Daniel, is it possible you could pull up potential lightning in the center of the hurricane?
Windy.com.
I don't think there is lightning in the center right now.
Okay.
Let me check windy.com. I know.
Try that.
Windy, but that radar is all sorts of glitchy right now.
Okay. I wonder if the
all radar in there is based off, I think, satellite loop.
Yeah.
That eye's fully shut.
The eye's fully shut?
Yep.
I suspected as such. Now we gotta wait for the convection to fully wrap around, and then things are going haywire. This reminds me of Ida a little bit back in 2021, where it stagnated an intensification while the pressure was falling. Then you saw this exact situation happen where you're seeing a lot of these minus 70 cloud tops starting to wrap around, and then the satellite estimates just really started exploding from that. That's what this is giving me Ida vibes a little bit. And we all know what happened with Ida. That was not fun to watch.
Looking no mic.
All right. This isn't photoshopped, is it?
Nope. That's raw from Zoom Earth.
There it is. There it is. We have our closed eye. Is the eye is that a dry slot or is that the actual eye that's showing up on Viz?
I mean, it's this slightly smaller portion. Like it's just shut, so it's like that. It's not the whole part of that. There's a little dry slot, but it's not truly dry. It's a moist area, but it's forming convection, that little area. The little spot that looks a little bit more darker is where that currently is a little less convective. But the slightly.
Yeah, I see it as well.
Dark area is the eye.
Yep, I see it.
And this thing is a little baby eye right now. Yeah.
That baby eye is going to develop pretty soon.
The little baby eye is going to turn into a monster eye. It's going to turn into a big, scary. I was about to say it's going to turn into a big, scary beach, aka my cat.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Is Recon done, or are they going to make another pass with the NOAA 2 mission? I'm interested. Because if that's done, if that's the case and we're done right as this is starting to fire off, that's not going to be very good. So I'm hoping that other recon mission is boarding, getting ready to go. I'm going to check that flight tracker website, see if I can find anything. For Teal 73, yeah. I believe it is. Yeah, Teal 73.
Pat, go look at Invest 99L. Satellite, quick.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at that real quick.
Just look at how good that weird thing looks.
Yeah, that looks strange.
For that far north, that's actually really good, though.
Yeah, that's 37 degrees north. That's in the subtropics. That's pretty interesting.
It looks like I don't even know, like a slug, kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
But in a weird way, it has that, kind of flaring out effect that's having right now.
Yeah, it looks like Mission 13 is leaving. Unfortunate. Hoping.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get that. I'm hoping we can get another flight in there because we could really use that.
Especially when it's in the beginning phases of a rapid intensification.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Definitely, we'll need to watch that for sure. I wonder what the NHC is going to do with this, considering the presentation of satellites now. Though, either way, I think they're going to hold at 80, either hold at 85 or go up to 90. Would not be surprised with either one. Wouldn't be upset with either one. Whatever the NHC wants to do, their choice. I think that's kind of the theme. Okay, that's not good.
What?
What's up?
Take a look at my stream, and I'll show you the latest frames. Oh yeah, another convective burst fired up. It's getting that dry air out, and we're getting closer and closer to this getting wrapped around and closing off.
This thing's about to go bonkers.
Yep, this is exactly what Hurricane Ida did.
Boom, boom.
Pretty much the exact same synoptic thing. Also, we have 375 people in the chat. That's incredible. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. The goal is to get more people engaged with weather. So thank you for all the support you've given tonight. Let's try to get to 10,600 subscribers. We're 30 away. So let's hit that white subscribe button and let's keep going. So anyway, yeah. That's not good.
You have 300 viewers. I have 3.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Oh yeah. If you want to look at, Daniel's also streaming this as well. His stream is in the pinned chat above. If you want to take a look at that and get some analysis from him.
When Pat's stream ends, I'll probably be live still.
Yeah,
after,
Daniel will definitely be
and
live.
You'll be transferred over.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get you more coverage. So.
Definitely currently looks like this is going to be temporarily a pinhole eye, but
yeah,
for now. I'm currently looking at tropical tippet satellites. It seems to be a little bit ahead than radar omegas.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping my radar omega one on my stream since it has the 3D view.
Yep.
The cool view.
Yeah.
And it gives us a little bit better view of what the structure's like in the center.
For sure.
So I'm seeing that convection blob that's around -80 Celsius.
Yep.
That is on that back end. So everything is starting to rotate and wrap around in there. The second it fully wraps around, it's going to start spinning there, and then it's going to probably look like the eye's wobbling, and then the eye's going to pop out.
Yep.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
What's up?
What?
What's up?
Good.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right. Oh, that was interesting. Daniel, you want to continue?
Let me just see.
All right.
Hold on. People in my chat are saying my audio is a little low. Fix that.
Go ahead and fix that. In the meantime, though, we are waiting for more data. We're waiting for the NHC's update, which should be in less than 20 minutes. Expect it. What do you guys think the NHC is going to do? I already gave my take, so what's your thoughts?
I'd say 85, maybe 90.
I'm going to say they're probably going to hold at 85.
Weather Kingdom? Okay, he's AFK right now. All right. Well, regardless of that, got stuff to continue to monitor. Oh boy, this is going to be an escalating situation once this whole thing closes off.
By the way, I sure love after Tristan has kind of gone deafen mode. It's gone a lot quieter in here.
Yeah, it kind of has. It definitely has for sure. But yeah,
So welcome back to the Past Predictor podcast.
Yeah.
Side of streaming while we track a ongoing monster hurricane.
Definitely for sure. I'm gonna check. Yeah, I'm definitely checking. A tropical WX just to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll figure it. Yeah. We'll figure that out. So, yeah, we're just waiting right now for the update. Also waiting for a position on the aircraft. I'm pretty sure this is pretty much the last pass until it heads back. So, yeah. What are your? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We need a whole remix of you just saying yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a way we can figure out the lightning on this? Because if that's the case, that would be very telling.
I don't think we can, unfortunately. in that area because it would be unreliable.
So what happened when I was gone?
We're waiting for
I
we're
don't
waiting
know.
for
Whoa.
the NHC website to update and give their forecast.
Check out satellite updates.
Yeah,
Anything big on that?
This is about to wrap around. It's give it another.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we have another burst over there. That's. Yeah, we're very close to this stuff closing off right here. We have two.
It's rapidly organizing. That when you see two,
we're seeing two hot towers forming right now.
Yep.
That's
usually when
you're gonna
hot
start
towers form. Yep.
Pat, you're gonna start laughing hysterically if you look in no mic.
Yes, I am.
Do you think this could be a Category 5 at landfall?
No. At this current point, it's. I mean, it could, but it's unlikely at this current point.
All
Helene's
I'm
gonna
saying,
come in like a wrecking ball tomorrow.
yeah,
Like,
wow.
Yeah.
You have to be like that.
Look at the evolution of this in the last 55 minutes right here. Before, about half of it was encompassed in this -70 ring of cloud tops, and look how rapidly this has been pushing further to the east and rotating around. We now have two hot towers that have really started to fire off. This system is about to go off if it hasn't already, and this is telling us, hey, I'm about to blow the fuck up. Watch out.
There's our one swear word of the stream.
No, this is our second, so...
Second.
Yeah.
25th.
Yeah.
So are these
20,000
recons?
swear.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So, it's already looking like a classic, folks.
Yep, a classic rapid intensification major.
Yep.
Something that has been seen, I feel like, million of times now in the Gulf.
Hey Pat, you're banned from my Christian Minecraft server now.
All right. Yeah, I get the joke. Weather Kingdom. What do you think the NHC is going to go at 11 p.m.?
I think they're gonna stick with. They're gonna have a lower pressure, probably up to about 971, 970.
Mhm.
They might. I'm thinking because there's not enough recon data. Only if they can find some buoys out there that supports a 90.
We have
But for
Isaac.
now-
We have
We do?
Isaac?
Oh my god! You guys,
Yeah,
you
I
made it
believe
to
we
the
have
island's
Isaac.
turn.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know which. Is that 98 or 99?
Yep. They just posted. Yep, Tyler just posted it. That was Invest 99, I
You
believe.
guys, it happened.
99.
Oh,
Yeah.
99.
We
Oh,
have
wow.
broken the
Okay.
curse.
We have a new
It has a little
hurricane.
baby eye.
We
No,
have
tropical
we have a
storm.
new tropical storm. It's going to give it a second real quickly for it to fully update on the website, at least on my end of it, so we can take a look at that briefly. But the main
Yeah, I knew that was gonna go though.
the main thing we're looking for though is the main thing we're looking for I have words. The main thing we're watching is
Words.
Helene's advisory. So once that comes out, we'll definitely keep you updated. But I'm really curious about the discussion, though. That's the one thing I'm curious about, to kind of see what new insight they have there for us. But when you see two hot towers like this firing up at 180 degrees away from each other, you can tell something's not right. So
I'm
Yeah,
afraid
for my
we are-
stream, I'm
yeah.
going to look over at our beautiful new tropical storm.
that's fine.
For anybody that wants to
It's in the pin chat.
jump ship.
Ooh.
So-
Yeah.
Oh, it's
What-
very close to wrapping around.
Oh
Very
my- yo.
close.
I'm calling it. We're about to have an eye in the next few hours. Rapid intensification is now underway, in my opinion.
It's about
In
to
my
start.
opinion, you guys, we need to find out if there's lightning.
Yeah,
That's the
if
last
there's a
piece
way
to
we can
it.
figure that out. Dang, this would be
You
a
got-
really
wow.
good time for Tristan to spawn back in here.
Yeah,
So,
Tristan.
yeah,
Respawn
need
from
you.
you fighting the Ender Dragon.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Look at this on Visible. It's so beautiful, but
On
Do you
so
guys
deadly.
think there will be a lot of tornadoes?
That's potentially more inland. Not I wouldn't. Yeah, potentially more inland. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. The eye definitely is looking better on that. Yeah, Weather Kingdom, you are right.
Yep, I think rapid intensification is now underway, or
Yeah.
we are 20 to 30 minutes away from it.
Yeah, where it's about to start. All right, we have almost 400 people in chat, so things are going pretty interesting. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. 28 away from 10,600, so let's hit that tonight as we get this data and information out. We are waiting for the advisory for Helene. We're hoping that we get some more hurricane. Yeah, the mission's done. Mission is done.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Worst
Right
time
as
to
this
leave.
is starting to go off, too.
Yeah, I feel like this happens all the time with Recon.
Unfortunately, I really hope it wasn't the case. It's not always the case, but still. Oh boy.
By the way, I just want to go over and recap for people in Florida while we're waiting, because honestly, we're gonna kind of just stall out for a little while while we wait. I just want to go over, like, I know we've been talking about the Panhandle, but we should also talk about the other impacts to overall Florida.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the West Coast side of Florida and even some of the east side of the coast is going to get storm surge as well. We can't forget about those people. So still in the Tampa Bay area, you're going to see 5 to 8 feet of storm surge, isolated mounts higher, down into the lower portions near Naples. South Tampa is going to be 3 to 5 feet. The Keys roughly are going to be 1 to 3 feet. That's all depending on the track trajectory of this. If it gets a little closer, it might be a little bit more, but not by much.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big hitting area is the Panhandle with 15 to 20 plus feet. I'm calling plus on that based off anything. And then it kind of skirts around the coast a little bit and dies off relatively quickly. And then you also, on the east side from Daytona Beach, just north of Daytona Beach, to South Carolina-ish, North Carolina, 1 to 3 feet of surge possible, as well as this thing pushes inland. So that's just a brief recap of that. Let's go over rainfall totals again. Obviously, this is going to be heaviest rainfall is going to be near the center portion, the more inner core of this system, but it's obviously going to spread out. And actually, on my stream, I have the potential rain threat risk for the next
I'm not gonna
few days. Don't even dare. But
what?
We have pretty. We have pretty.
By the way,
high threats
this is
for that.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Weather Kingdom.
all I'm gonna say is this is not even a coastal major impacts. This is gonna be impacts hundreds of miles inland. This is not your casual hurricane that weakens rapidly because of the trough. And we are gonna have hurricane force winds probably all the way up to Atlanta, Georgia. It is very possible, and probably even northern Georgia. But even besides that, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina is all going to be dealing with at least 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts or higher. And that's because of the trough and this deja vu potentially thing I've been hearing about. But this is the worry part for me, because I don't think people are realizing, yes, you are inland, but I don't think people are expecting the chance of them getting strong tropical storm force winds to hurricane force wind gusts that far north, and with the rainfall too. So I feel like the worst of with the prep, like the prepping, it's going to be in the northern parts and more inland. I think people are going to probably not take it as seriously because this is not a common, storm. I feel that just weakens right off the bat. This is going to be like a tropical storm all the way up to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So hundreds of miles.
Yeah. Hey,
issues.
Go ahead. Yeah. Hey, there looks like that there's actually 2 areas of convection that's wrapping fully around. One on the eastern side of the dry air and one on the western side. The western side one has the -80 cloud top towers up there. The one further to the east just popped up right out of the blue. This structure's definitely going off, and it's been doing it all night as we're seeing more and more of these -70 cloud tops starting to blow up in a more of a band, more of an elliptical and circular fashion as it continues to rotate around. So that's not good to take a look at right there. And the structure already looks impressive too.
Yeah. Sorry to butt in again.
Yeah.
But
pretty good.
I just want to point out on the east coast of Florida, I'm keeping an eye on the showers on that coastline as they punch northward. These are on the very outer fringes of it, but I'm watching for tropical tornadoes or water spouts. I'm already seeing a few areas of rotation out there. Luckily, they're far offshore, so they're not going to do anything for land. But as it pushes northward towards, the Jacksonville area, that's when it will be a little bit more concerning.
Sure. Anyway, we got the advisory, guys. They held at 85. Pressure's down to 972. Not surprising at all. Holding at the
special weather statement.
Whoa. We have something very major of an update.
What's
about
up?
that. It's moving 9 miles an hour. It slowed down from 10 to 9.
Oh,
it keeps slowing down.
That's more time over the loop current too. And
By the
here's
way,
what we got. Hold on, sorry, 1 second. Hurricane force winds extend outward 35 miles from the center now, so the hurricane force winds are expanding as well. So that's interesting. Go ahead, Daniel.
I just wanted to this expires in 3 minutes. Actually, never mind.
Sure.
I was just gonna say there's a special weather statement on the east side of Florida. This is going towards Cape Canaveral. Of course, everything links back to Cape Canaveral for me.
Of course.
Because it's space themed. Anyway, gusts up to 50 miles per hour. This is just one of those outer bands that are relatively strong. It's weakening. But there are other bands behind it that could do something.
Yeah.
But I would be watching the bands that are coming on the west side of Florida, especially in the one that could be coming over the Keys right now. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Daniel, but we got a $20 donation from from one of our members, My Life Eliza. I'm trying to get the full name out there. It's My Life Eliza Morse. For $20. Hey, Pat, been watching your streams for over a year. Thank you so much for all the information and stats. You are a real one. And golly, your hair looks gorgeous. Smooches, love you, handsome. Thank you very much for the $20 donation right there. We really appreciate that. Did you want to continue, Daniel?
Who wants to read the discussion?
I'd like to do it.
Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat can do that.
All right, here's what we got. Satellite images show that Helene has a well-organized appearance with numerous convective banding features. A ragged-looking eye feature is also apparent. However, reports from both Air Force and NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft investigating the system suggest that it has lacks a well-defined inner core with a somewhat broad maximum wind field for now. The minimum central pressure dropped a little to 972. Given the slowly falling pressure, the intensity is maintained at 75 knots for this intensity, which is 85 miles an hour. Helene's structure and intensity will continue to be closely monitored by the Hurricane Hunter aircraft tonight and Thursday. The hurricane continues to move northward with an estimated initial motion of 360 degrees at 8 knots. Over the next couple of days, the steering scenario of the system remains basically unchanged from the earlier advisory. The flow between a mid-tropospheric trough over the east-central United States and a ridge over the western Atlantic should result in Helene accelerating northward to the north-northeast in the next 24 to 36 hours. This motion will bring the center of Helene to the northeastern Gulf of Mexico coast in about 24 hours. So the landfall time has been pushed back a bit. Now it's going to expected to make landfall around 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Before we were talking about 5 p.m., 8 p.m., around those areas.
And now, yep.
That's an extra 3 hours over waters, folks. The official track through landfall is very similar and remains close to the corrected consensus guidance. After landfall, the trough of the northwest in the cyclone becomes a cutoff low, and Helene should turn leftward, and the system should become extratropical, shallow extratropical with weakening steering currents. Okay, this is where the juicy stuff begins. Helene should be in an atmospheric and oceanic environment over the eastern Gulf of Mexico that will be very conducive for strengthening. This system is expected to traverse the loop current, which has especially high oceanic heat content. This, along with fairly low vertical wind shear and a mid-moist to lower tropospheric air mass, should likely result in rapid intensification before landfall. The official forecast continues to call for the hurricane to reach category strength tomorrow. It should be noted that the halves A and halves B runs indicate regional hurricane models show even more intensification than indicated here. Helene is about to be forecast to be a major hurricane, a large major hurricane that is, when it reaches the Big Bend coast of Florida. As a result, storm surge, wind, and rainfall impacts will extend well away from the center and outside the forecast cone, particularly on the east side. In addition, the fast-forward speed of Helene moves inland and will result in a far inland penetration of strong winds over parts of the southeastern U.S., including stronger gusts over higher terrain in the southern Appalachians. Higher than normal gust factors indicated in the official forecast while Helene is inland. So that's our discussion, folks. This system's about to go off, and I want to read the key messages very quickly because this is pretty serious right here.
Is Recon going back into this tonight? Because it seems like they said we are going to continue to monitor it with
I think
Recon.
they have one more plane going in tonight.
Good.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, I do want to go ahead and read out the key messages because this is pretty serious. Number 1, a catastrophic and deadly storm surge is likely among portions of the Florida Big Bend coast, where inundation could reach as high as 20 feet above ground level, along with destructive waves. There is also a danger of life-threatening storm surge along the remainder of the west coast of the Florida Peninsula. Residents in those areas should follow advice given by local officials and evacuate if told to do so. 2, potentially catastrophic hurricane force winds are expected within the eyewall of Helene when it makes landfall in the Florida Big Bend region late Thursday. Preparations to protect life and property should be completed by early Thursday before tropical storm conditions arrive. Damaging and life-threatening hurricane force winds, especially in gusts, will penetrate well inland over portions of northern Florida and southern Georgia late Thursday and Thursday night, where hurricane warnings are in effect. Just in layman's terms right here, and just to give you some context to this, the NHC is now pretty much saying that hurricane force winds are going to go into, not going to just stay in Florida, then move into Georgia as a tropical storm. Oh no, it's going to be moving into Georgia as a pretty strong hurricane from what they're telling me. And that part of Georgia does not typically get hurricanes of that strength. The last time it got something to this scale was Michael back in 2018, and it entered Georgia as a major hurricane, as a Category 3 hurricane, while it was still over land, and absolutely destroyed a lot of areas in South Georgia. What was up, Weather Kingdom?
No, all I said was really.
Yeah.
I did not know it made it as a major to
Yep.
Georgia. Damn.
It got entered there as a major weakened due to land interaction. Number 3,
Yeah.
catastrophic and life-threatening flash and urban flooding, including numerous landslides, is expected across portions of the southern Appalachians through Friday. Considerable to locally catastrophic flash and urban flooding is likely for western and northern Florida and the southeast through Friday. Widespread minor to moderate river flooding and isolated major river flooding are likely. 4, tropical storm conditions are expected for portions of western Cuba within the tropical storm warning area. Hurricane Helene will bring heavy rain to portions of the western Caribbean, potentially significant flooding across western Cuba and the northeastern Yucatan into early Thursday. But they're holding at 130 miles per hour right now, and based on the cone that we have right here, that's just about to make landfall. So that's pretty interesting, and we have a lot to take a look at and a lot to pay attention to. Thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts on hearing all that?
Honestly, my thoughts is tonight's the night where it will decide if this is gonna run for a high end 4.
Yeah.
And right now what I'm seeing is very familiar scenes with other rapid intensification events. And we've seen a category 1 all the way up to a 3 in matters of 4 hours.
Yep.
I'm not saying this is going to happen with this, but all I'm going to say is this is the absolutely worst case scenario. We wake up around 8 a.m. and this has a clear out eye and a strong category 2.
Yeah.
With winds up to 110. I wouldn't be surprised if this succeeds of the eye.
For sure. Tonight. Someone was asking in the chat if it shifted a little bit to the west. No, it actually shifted a little bit back to the east.
To the east.
Yeah, into the Big Bend region. It's not heading for It's not making landfall in Apalachicola Bay anymore. It shifted back to the east a little bit.
And that's really bad because that means more surge for Tampa. And Tampa is very prone to storm surge.
It's a funnel in that area. A lot of the Florida coastline is a funnel.
Yeah.
Has a lot of bay areas. And I mean, even
that's because,
also because Florida is technically probably not the most well-designed place in the world for hurricanes overall.
Yeah.
Because it used to be a sandbar in the prehistoric times, and it still very much is. Still very much is like a sandbar. I mean, yes, certain areas are only 1 meter above sea level, especially like Miami.
Yeah.
And of course, that's gonna flood even with 1 foot of surge. But
yeah,
Tampa area. I mean, Tampa's a nice place and such. So having 5 to 8 feet of surge, that's enough to get up to around a 2-story home.
What's up?
I got some news. The latest 0Z models that are starting to come out has this making landfall about 3 hours later than previous thought. Like the Icon had it making landfall around 11.
All right.
Now it has it making landfall probably around like 12 or 1.
Oof.
And it has a 953.
Yeah.
So this has just continued to trend into an overnight event, and that's even worse.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of afraid because it going down to 9 miles an hour. I mean, this was supposed to be probably around 12, 13 mile an hour moving.
Yeah.
So this is a bit concerning on that department.
Yeah. Also, in other news, the gap is closed.
Yeah,
it's closed off.
I see that.
Completely closed off. Here we go, guys. It's now.
Not yet. It's not rapid intensification just this yet. But once we start seeing that clearing.
Yep.
Maybe I'm speaking already.
Yeah.
I think it's already trying to clear.
Well, part of it's dry air, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Other parts of it are starting to clear out as well.
What dry air are you even talking about, Pat? There's no dry air in this.
Not anymore, there's not. That's the eye.
There was never a dry air in this.
No, there was.
There was some.
Some, very little, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this storm kind of just killed it.
Yeah, pretty much there was some dry air trying to get into the core earlier today. I made this analogy. For those of you who are baseball fans, this literally pulled a Chas McCormick. I will tell you that.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Game 5.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I don't, because I don't track sports, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. So it legit did that and pretty much saved itself at the last second, and now it's going. So here we go.
I'm kind of worried.
I sure love how I'm just listening to music while you guys
Yeah.
are
We have 400 people in chat. That's absolutely incredible.
Amazing.
Be sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're trying to get more people engaged with weather. 25 away from 10,600. So let's try and shoot for that tonight and continue to get more people engaged with weather. Thank you for all the support tonight.
Oh.
Go ahead.
What's that website called for the recon?
It's
Does anyone want to check on that?
It's Tropical Tidbits.
Yeah, besides that, I thought there was another website that Tristan was using.
Oh, it was like the radar. It was the flight tracker.
Oh yeah.
I have to select a certain. I have to select a certain aircraft to pick for that. I'll check Teal 72. Flight radar.
Because I'm very interested on that. Honestly, the later recon goes, I think the more likely this
is now gonna pretty much hit Tallahassee head on.
Yeah. This current point, that's I just realized that.
Yeah, actually it's getting the bad surge side as well.
Oof. I just realized that, it's gonna hit Tallahassee.
Actually, Pat, current trajectory is showing it even more east. Actually, it's kind of out of the cone right now.
For now, yes.
For now, yes. Depends how much it goes towards the east. We'll just keep watching it.
Have you guys seen some of the images been coming out of the Key West area with the waves crashing on the boardwalk or whatever, the seawall?
Seawall, yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching, what's that? I was watching, not the Weather Channel, Fox Weather, and they were showing the Key West live camera.
Yeah,
and those waves are massive.
I have it on my screen right now. It's
you
link
do?
Of Key West.
I'm not touching that.
I know you cannot, look at
copyright
on air, but on your second screen you can, yeah. Whatever.
All right. But yeah, I can't look at that because of copyright stuff. Regardless of that, though, well.
Oh wow!
What are you looking at?
I honestly don't think it's copyright that much, honestly, but it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go for the risk. I make too many documentaries anyway.
Speaking of documentaries, when's your next one gonna be?
Yeah, I'm very interested.
Sometime in the near future.
Oh wait, Pat, we need to work on our own collaboration.
Oh yeah, we have our stuff we need to work on.
We completely forgot about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's probably the next one we should do.
All right, couple questions right now. Am I planning to storm chase ever in the future? I actually have gone storm chasing before. It was for severe weather. It was around May of 2023, so I have done it before. Would I do it again? Yeah, but probably not right now. Am I going to talk about Isaac? We can talk about Isaac a little bit. I'm sure you guys are okay with that.
Pathetic Isaac that has an eye somehow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at the discussion. Well, wants it to get to near hurricane strength.
Really? How
Yeah.
strong? 70.
That's interesting.
Oh, could we actually have a hurricane?
It's possible.
Could maybe Isaac will become a subtropical major hurricane?
Yeah. Bro,
If
look
that's
at this.
possible.
Shut up.
Tropical
That's
storm
not
force winds
possible.
extend outward 220 miles from the center. For a new system that was just tagged, then again, it does have 50-mile-per-hour winds and a 997 millibar pressure, so it makes a little more sense.
I sure love how it says extratropical cyclone Isaac. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Right now,
Hey,
at least.
yeah. Hey, Big ET, did you want to say something? Yeah, I know he's wanting to join in here for a little bit. We're having some mic issues, so hopefully he
Oh,
can.
wow. It is
Yeah.
trying to form a little eye.
Yeah, it definitely is for sure.
Cool.
I'll entertain it and go over there for a little bit. I'll entertain it.
It's a little baby storm. Actually, if that's small of a storm, it's very possible that it could become a Cat 1 up
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh, easily. Yeah. Easily.
If it can get enough temps going on. Actually, if it can dip more, the only thing out here that could really affect is the Azores if it dips more
Yeah.
south,
Mm-hmm.
which is a possibility.
The
After that,
satellite.
it would be more of a Portugal situation towards
Yeah.
well, Portugal and France situation, wherever it would go as a
Yeah.
post-tropical cyclone.
Yeah, but you were talking about satellite weather kingdom. What's up?
Now, Eyewall is really forming pretty well on that southwestern side.
Yeah.
Guys,
What's up?
it's fine.
Southeastern.
Shh.
Hmm?
John is really trying to do some interesting things in the East Pack.
It's going for two. It's going 2 for 2.
It's gonna try to become a Cat 2, possibly again.
You've got to be kidding me.
Right now, current forecast projection is 90 miles per hour before landfall. And here's the funny part. It shows it's a recurve, looking like it's going to recurve back out to sea again.
Oh my god.
Yo, you're kidding, right?
No.
I wish I was. It's going to go back over water again.
And for those asking, no, it's not gonna. No, John's not gonna affect Helene this time. So
It's only getting further and further away, so
nah,
it's
My bad.
you're good.
funny how it's doing this, but also really, really bad for these coastline communities.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, right?
Yep.
The amount of rainfall this thing has to be dumping is oof.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. I really hope we get some recon in there.
I know,
pretty
I really
soon.
want that.
Yeah. Because if we can get that, that would be golden.
And then
There-
also we have
yeah.
another invest out there.
Yeah, I heard.
Invest
Yeah.
98L, which actually looking pretty promising. What
Yeah.
that thing will do is,
What's the name of that one, Woody?
That's
what's the next name?
what's the next name? Storm. I know it's Isaac, and then
Models show that storm potentially becoming upwards of a major.
yeah,
Yeah,
Joyce.
what?
that's
You're
gonna be
kidding,
Which
right?
Joyce.
storm though?
Joyce.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, the GFS. Damn, I was not expecting that.
Fish storm likely, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big ace maker. Hopefully, we get some good
This,
rapid intensification.
this again might fly towards let's see.
Yeah, if it's out to sea,
Would it's gonna hook back around, so it might actually affect areas of the northern portion of Africa and stuff.
oh
I'm not
boy,
gonna lie, the models really show some more tropical activity in the MDR and once again, in the Caribbean. Not good. Not good.
yeah,
I do see this weird little thing of thunderstorms going through the Caribbean right now, near the leewards. to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
I doubt it would form,
yeah.
but
Hey, Brendan's back in here. Hey, Brendan, what's up?
Hey, Brendan.
Oh, I didn't know you guys would notice. I was trying to stay quiet.
No.
Aw.
We'd like some.
Cry?
We'd like you to talk a little bit about what's been going on. First of all, we have Tropical Storm Isaac, number 1, and number 3, Helene's Eyewall's wrapped around.
You mean Helene?
Helene, yeah.
Yes.
Helene.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Do you know you said Hugo in your video?
I did? Huh.
Yeah.
I said Hermine. I know Ian said Hermine.
Oh, Hermine. Okay, yeah, it's Hermine
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Brendan, what are your thoughts on everything going on now?
Yeah, in all honesty, I really can't say that I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I will say, since we have a moment, once we look back at this season, I still suspect that it will likely fall short of the previous expectations that many of us had
easily,
of the
yeah.
average season. But as I think about that out loud, let's also not forget that this was a very anomalous season.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that we had Hurricane Beryl as a Category 5 in Lesser Antilles and the Grenadiers in
June.
But
June.
by the way, I'm still a little bit fishy on that Category 5 status because of all the recon issues.
No.
Sure, but the point still stands that to have a major hurricane of that magnitude so early on the season, we can all agree is incredibly anomalous on its own, regardless of our debate about the strength of it, right? But that's the season as a whole, right? My point is the season when we look back is going to be below average regardless. It is likely, however, going to be one we look back and go, wow, that was a bizarre year. I mean, we had that, but we had Beryl getting into Houston as a Cat 1, and look at all the destruction it did as a Cat 1.
Yep.
Right? So that's the season as a whole. But if we look at kind of the current situation right now, and my opinion on that, to answer your question, again, I'm not surprised. I mean, we've definitely seen a transition. We're in this transitionary period with our 3.4 Enzo pattern to where we are gradually transitioning towards La Nina. And I say gradually because we're literally crawling towards a La Nina at this point.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, as a result of our MGO, as a result of our pattern in just the continental United States, all of those synoptic patterns changes are what's creating more of this reinvigoration in the Caribbean, the Gulf, as well as you said, the MDR as a whole.
Yeah.
I would make the argument to conclude on this that if there's one area that I'm really watching for kind of a target zone, it's the area we're already looking at tonight, the Gulf and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we think about it, we have a pretty progressive pattern in the United States as is, which if that is to continue and we're not expected to go zonal till probably around October, November, that would imply that a lot of the storms that do fire off in the Atlantic Basin are likely to be sent out to sea. Now, that could change, but the general consensus is that's likely what's going to happen, unless if our pattern changes. So in that case, that opens the door to the Caribbean and the Gulf. I don't think this is the last system that we're going to see in the Gulf. I think we're probably due for 1 to 2 more as we round out the rest of the season. I don't think Helene is going to be the last in the Gulf. I think we'll see probably a couple more over the next month or so.
Yeah, that's the main concern. In terms of Helene right now, if you're noticing, it has a lot better of a satellite structure than it did a couple of hours ago when we started streaming tonight. The Eyewall is wrapped completely around. What's the next step? In your mind?
You broke up towards the end. You said, what's the next step?
What?
I'm sorry, you cut out at the very end of what you were asking.
What's the next step?
The next step is that we see a much cleaner eyewall form here. I mean, we're already seeing the eyewall formation as we speak, as you mentioned, Pat. I think the next step is pretty much what we're all expecting. More an eye for one, and then I suspect that we'll likely even see a major as soon as late tomorrow afternoon into the early evening, which I know is already progged to happen, but it may even happen a little bit earlier.
I think it will happen later morning tomorrow. Just depends if we see a clearing out eye by like 1 in the morning.
I'm not. Hey, listen, your prediction you take a more hawkish approach, and I respect it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that far-fetched either. I'm going to go more on the conservative end and say probably late afternoon, early evening, we see the major designation.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty close, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
What's up, Daniel?
Me over here is looking at the live cams just off air, and overall Florida's fine, as Florida is usually, with storms off the coast. However, I have found a cam that will be helpful for tomorrow.
All right, what's that?
That's right where it will be making landfall around.
Okay. That'll be helpful for sure. The one thing I do want, though, right now, though, is recon. If we can get that, we'd be good. We'd be set. We'd be golden. Things would be...
I can turn my recon on.
Yeah. Hopefully we can...
And
yeah.
Since we have this, sorry, Pat, I was just going to also mention too, there's been a couple of comments about this, and I think it's a good question that people are asking. Anytime we start to talk about major hurricane discussions, especially with what we're looking at with Helene in the next 24 hours,
Yep.
the conversation always comes up about the climate change factor and the warming of the sea surface temperatures. And one thing that I want everybody to consider, especially those that are listening in on the live stream,
Yep.
is
Yeah.
while we had really warm sea surface temperatures and once again record setting in the Gulf this year, according to our analogs, we also had a really ample Sahara dust season that absolutely plagued the Atlantic basin. I would argue longer than typical climatology for Saharan dust season. So there's my point with that is, a lot of people tend to correlate hurricanes with warm sea surface temperatures, which is fair because that's a pretty strong ingredient to developing hurricanes.
But I think
But
it could have
there's
been
factors
more.
involved too, right? There's more factors than that, number one, but also there's inhibitors that come with climate change, not just strength, but also inhibitors. In this case, it was the Saharan dust plume. That's all dry air that just chokes out any convection.
Mhm.
And this Sahara dust season, Pat, I'd love your thoughts, or whoever is in the chat, I'd love your thoughts on this. This was a pretty wild Saharan dust season that extended farther than its typical season. Thoughts on that?
I will tell you this:
Yeah.
in June, it looked like it was going to be weakening quite quickly, and it would be out of there. The fact is, it looks like it in June. It was definitely well below average for what I was looking at. But then July, it just had a massive surge. And ultimately, it lingered throughout July, through August, through early September, and now it's gone. So that last little line of defense pretty much broke open a couple of weeks ago, and the effects of it are starting to be felt. Go ahead, Daniel.
I'm going to say, like in the July-ish, August, that's where it really got very, very intense. In the Saharan dust, and actually at one point there was a low pressure that sucked up and made like a vortex of dry air just in the eastern part of the Atlantic. So it looks very interesting and was just being chucked all over the place.
It is, and Daniel, the other thing to bring up too is that, I think probably the biggest takeaway aside from the dust, did you guys notice that right around July and August, there was some really unusual convective activity? Usually it fires off the African coastline. Instead, it was inland. It was inland. There was convection firing off. Like literally, I think at one point, like in the desert, the desert got like a crap ton of rain this year. Which, I mean, it goes without saying, it's pretty intuitive, but deserts don't get a lot of rain. So, that was quite unusual. And it was
okay.
A lot of it had to
Rainforest
do
back.
with
Okay, I got something. Okay, I got something to share with you guys on satellite. I'm noticing another burst of -70 cloud tops coming in from the outer bands. It's been surging towards the Eyewall for the last little bit, and it looks like it's going to be closing off there pretty soon. So,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah.
it's still very quickly consolidating.
I think if Recon went into it now, I would say this is probably a 90-mile-an-hour system
I wouldn't blame you at
with
this
now
current
an
point.
Eyewall. Maybe even 95, but I think that's a little far stretch because
Yeah,
I
90,
know the winds need to
95.
catch up.
Yeah, 95 doesn't exactly exist anymore because they changed it to a knot system.
The
Unfortunately.
knot system throws me off every single time.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate it. Wait,
It's
why
more
did-
scientific.
Oh.
Scientific terms, Celsius, my tushy tush.
Yeah.
So they don't do 90. Wait, so they don't do. Oh,
They don't
these are
update to
okay.
95 because it doesn't exist it doesn't exist in knots, and the estimate at pretty much 85 knots goes up to 100 miles an hour. That's Cat 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not liking the satellite. I think that once these two bursts of convection combine, then I think the eye will be underway of opening.
I'd argue it's already on. I'd argue that we're already potentially starting to see that a little bit. It's gonna
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
a little bit, at least on the upper levels. But we'll have to watch it for sure. Once that eye pops out, it's go time.
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
honestly,
Pat, on my screen share, this is the group flash count, pretty much the lightning flashes that have been.
Hey, Greg.
picked up.
Greg's in the chat right now. Good evening, everyone. I have a question for anyone. Do you have to have a connecting microphone to join the chat, or can I use my phone on the stream because I have Discord now? You can use your phone to call in because you have a quick message for everyone. Yeah, for sure. Let me go ahead and get you the Discord server real quickly, and we'll let you in, Greg, because we'd like to hear what you have to hear. You've been a pretty loyal audience member for the last little while. Let's go ahead. That's the Discord for you, and that's for anyone else who wants to join.
Yeah.
Go ahead and join that. John, if he's still here. John, you're still here. Go ahead and make sure you let Greg in, all right?
Okay.
All right, perfect. Yeah, Waffles,
you want me
go
to
ahead and
give
join
him
the
live
Discord
roll?
server. Yeah.
Okay.
New convection circulating in from the outer band.
Yep, that's what we're
Yeah.
tracking right now. So yeah.
it's looking good. The eye wall is
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this IR guys is really impressive. I know I'm pretty much just adding to the chorus with my comment, but really nice deep convection right around what would essentially be the eye. And as we've kind of established with Recon, or at least as of recently, there is an eye embedded within that. It's just very, very difficult to see on a traditional IR. I know there was somebody in the chat that mentioned the Ghost 16 is on there too, but hey, look, Pat, you got a donation.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah,
You did.
McKenna.
Oh, wow. McKenna dropping another 10. That's incredible. Thank you very much. My question is too long to fit in a super chat, so I'm going to post it in 2 parts separate from this. Would love if you all could answer and give input. All right, let's go ahead. All right, perfect.
And do that. I see it.
We got it.
I've been wondering.
Go ahead, Weather Kingdom. You can go ahead.
I've been wondering about Idalia made landfall as a Category 4 in about the same location predicted for Helene, but Helene effects are expected to be much worse, even though similar category. That's what she says on that. And then she says strength is expected. What makes these two storms so different despite that? And why is Helene going to have such a bigger impacts? So she's kind of comparing Idalia and wanting to know the differences between Idalia and Helene.
Here, the Idalia was a more compact storm, and it got to Category 4 strength. However, some dry air got into it, and it underwent a very quick eyewall replacement cycle before rapidly weakening down to a low-end Cat 3 before making landfall. The wind damage was not that bad And I've been talking to Brendan a little bit about talking to David, talking to Tevold especially. Tony and I got into a little bit of an argument over it last year. Shout out to him, by the way. Thanks for coming on. But what ultimately happened, the wind damage wasn't that bad. The surge wasn't fantastic. A lot of it was because was enhanced from the tide. What the difference between Idalia and Helene is much larger. It's much more compact, and the core has been fighting back a lot harder because Idalia had a relatively weak core for a Category 4 hurricane. It was very vulnerable for dry air because it did not consolidate enough. It ended up, basically just boom, intensifying, didn't take any time to consolidate, whereas Helene has taken more time to consolidate and then intensify, and that's how these powerful systems start to go. So, yeah. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. And would you guys like to expand upon that?
I mean, I guess I will add on.
Sure.
Again, the problem is when you compare two storms, the environments are different. They're different storm characteristics. I mean, nothing really lines up perfectly when you compare two different storms, especially from two different years. The fact is, obviously Pat described everything else very well on the storm characteristics. But this is not going to be like that other. It's just not. This is a way more compact storm that is...
yeah, definitely.
Looking a more dicey.
Definitely.
And obviously going to have more of a surge threat than...
We got a $2
others that we've not.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Continue, Daniel. But I want Weather Kingdom to check because we have the $2 donation by Peter Moss, lightning flash
and
on
then
that huge western
lightning,
burst. Thank you for that. Daniel, thanks for the $4, by the way.
Macaroonies, get yourself a coffee.
Yeah, definitely. I might get my roommates one too.
Where does anyone have any lightning satellites? I'm wondering what.
I don't think my.
Bro, can we revive Tristan from the grave so we can get some of that lightning stuff?
Is he on here?
He's deafened and muted.
Oh God, that's bad.
Tristan died a long time ago.
Yeah. All right.
Tristan. Nope.
All right. We have red tie politics in here. You wanted to say a few things. What's up?
Hey everybody, just want to hop in here. Pat, you're doing some great work here.
Thank you.
I've been watching you through the past 2 days just because I'm in Georgia myself.
Sure.
Southwest Georgia, just preparing for all of what's going to go down.
Yeah.
What I think is very interesting about this storm, let me actually pull up the radar on my end if I can. The way that it's doing the eye is something interesting. The way that the convection in the south-ish area, where it's blowing up when it was in Cancun.
Mm-hmm.
It is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Something I haven't seen in a while. Probably since Hurricane Michael. And just the rapid intensification from this storm. It is really interesting and eye-opening to me. I mean, I know you guys have been talking about it for a while and you guys have noticed it. I don't think anybody else has noticed it either. I've been watching Ryan Hall, y'all. I've been watching everybody, even... David in here. I don't think he noticed it. I haven't seen him bring it up, and you guys are probably the only ones who bring up the rapid intensification of this storm in these small areas, and it's just very interesting. So good work on that. I think anybody who is along the Florida Panhandle and anywhere in South Georgia should watch out for this storm.
Yeah.
Because it can bring devastating impacts, especially in South Georgia that is not used to having these types of hurricanes. Especially the last time, like you said, was Hurricane Michael.
Yep.
And that is a big issue because if you have these people saying, oh, it's going to be okay, we're kind of used to these types of storms that get let's say tropical storms, for example. I know in Atlanta, they don't get hurricanes that much, which a lot of these model runs that I'm seeing are showing low-end or mid-end hurricanes.
Yeah.
in Atlanta, which is interesting to me. I don't know why it's showing that, but I guess we'll wait and
It's
see.
mainly because of the forward speed and how fast this is going to surge through.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a fast-moving hurricane. I think it's going to speed up when it hits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in North Georgia, it's going to be 60-mile-per-hour winds. So it's still going to be pretty strong by the time it gets out of your state.
Yeah.
When it hits the southern portion, probably going to be like, I mean, it's not going to be through too much land at that point. It's probably going to be at least Cat 3-ish 2, and then 1 in the mid-state portion.
Yeah, I mean, it's really strong of a storm. This is my guess. When it hits the Florida Panhandle, what I guess is 135, 140 mile an hour winds. That is my guess. Yeah, I mean, just because I don't see it intensifying that much. I mean, there is a chance that it does intensify to a high-end Cat 4 by the time that it hits Florida. Like, literally, we have to prepare for anything and everything. We have to prepare for a Cat 5, anybody who's across the coast of Florida. I would say even reaching Sarasota, like, we need to prepare for the worst. Because of, number one, the storm surge, which is very devastating for these areas. 20 feet will literally, bury a lot of these houses underwater.
Yep.
That is what people are not noticing about the storm. People are paying attention to the wind speed instead of the storm surge. And that is what takes lives, sadly. People need to pay attention to these warnings. I know I have, for example. I mean, it's very eye-opening, and I know what's going on in North Georgia with a lot of this rain is going to be devastating for this flooding as well. That's what people need to watch out about, too. But, I mean, this storm is going to cause a lot of stuff in a lot of these regions.
Yeah. All right.
Real quick, my question to the gentleman who's from Georgia, from your experience of living there, talk about sort of the projected impact of Helene versus storms you guys have had in the past. Is this something that's unfamiliar to folks that may be living in even far northern Georgia as opposed to southwestern Georgia? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's probably a little bit comparable to Michael in South Georgia, but for North Georgia, there has little to no storm. Maybe Irma, but it was not really a good example just because it's going to be a little stronger than Irma than it was in northern Georgia. I think it was like 40 miles an hour in northern Georgia when Irma hit there. You can correct me on that later. But really, for South Georgia is Michael.
Yeah.
For North, there's nothing comparable to that just because North Georgia does not get these types of really strong tropical storms to hurricane force winds. That's what they're showing. Really, what they need to prepare for in northern Georgia is the heavy rain that's going to come, the damaging winds, possibly isolated tornadoes. That's not really the greatest threat. The damaging winds. Really, for South Georgia is the damaging winds, possible tornado threat across the south and that higher risk areas for rain and damaging winds and all that. But to answer your question, really, Michael was I know it didn't really go through North Georgia that quite a bit, but really there hasn't been a storm that has this type of track going that way, going that far north into Georgia, going at that speed, just causing a lot of issues. So really, yes and no to that question.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
That makes sense,
too. And also to add on, so the Irma example, it was in the mid area of Georgia. It was tropical storm and it weakened tropical depression. The closer for the Michael example, Michael it went through a little bit more land mass. Michael, as it hit Georgia, it was Cat 3 initially, as it crossed the border, weakened down to around Cat 2, then 1, then tropical storm, and kind of lingered as a tropical storm all the way through the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A very wonky system.
But I'm predicting for northern Georgia maybe a low end Cat 1 just because of the speed of the storm. I'm a little sure that it's going to speed up a little bit when it hits the panhandle and just start running away with it. That's what I'm seeing from just the model runs on the HMON. Here, let me actually. But yeah, like a lot of these model runs that I'm seeing, like I can actually tell you, the HMON, the halves A, halves B, and the HWRF models are all showing in Georgia like a pretty powerful storm. I mean, I haven't seen anything like it for northern Georgia, especially like 955 in the Atlanta area for the HWRF model, and then going it as a 960 into Tennessee, and then for the HMON model,
The HMON. Yeah.
Yeah, HMON. It shows like a 960 in Atlanta. So really, I haven't seen this quite a while. I don't think even Michael had that in this area. Like I know that halves A has it as a 969 in central Georgia, a little more east than most of the models, near probably Athens, Georgia. And then same thing, it's a 967 and the halves B model. Really a little more towards, I'll say McDonough, that type of area, a little bit south of Atlanta. But yeah, it's really, really, really powerful. Probably a high end Cat 1. Mid Cat 2 in Central. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm predicting, but it's going to be really powerful.
All right. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on that for sure. Yeah. For those who are tuning in from southern Georgia, what do you want to tell them?
For anybody who's in South Georgia, please watch out. This thing is going to become a very powerful storm. Do not hinder on these warnings whatsoever.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are weather aware, as Ryan Hall would say it. Let's make sure that you guys know your escape plan if you need one, because I know it's very late, but if you need to do one.
Yep.
If you're not leaving South Georgia, if you're staying, make sure that you have sandbags. Make sure you have a lot of these equipment that is issued by a lot of these centers. I know that the National Hurricane Center and NOAA has a plan for this.
All right.
Like saying have gallons of water, have generators, all that. Make sure you have that in South Georgia. But really prepare.
Thank you for that. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, Pat, just keep doing your thing. I think it's great. Everybody here, especially Mother Kingdom, being a smaller channel. Good job on that too. Overall,
appreciate that.
Make sure that everybody's paying attention to this storm. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing blew up in the Gulf throughout the night. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Just prepare for anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to come on and talk about this. Thank you for checking us out. If you have anything else you'd like to add, you can come on at any time to talk about it with the weather. We'd be happy to have you back on. And thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
You too.
Have a safe night. All right. All right. Greg's ready to come on. Greg, just go ahead and join the live stream VC right here.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Weather Kingdom. It's in
new
the Discord.
GFS.
Yeah.
New GFS is running.
All right.
It looks like it's slower and it's more east and it's stronger.
Yeah.
They have a 957 on this run. Last run they had a 967. Just due west of pretty much Tampa, southwest of Tampa. And it's slower. So the trend is slower.
Yeah. That's a noticeable difference right there. That means more time over water too, which isn't gonna help matters.
Listen, all I care about is staring my face into the NAM 3 kilometer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna look at that. That's so unrealistic.
Pat, just look at it and just give me your honest reaction by staring into the webcam.
Oh my god, I'm not even gonna look at that. It's so unrealistic.
I command you to.
I mean, it's not really that unrealistic. I'm kidding. Yeah, that is unrealistic.
No,
Not
absolutely
happening.
not.
And if it did,
Yeah,
still not possible.
yeah. All right. Well, I know Daniel's. I know what Daniel's about to do. So, anyway, while we're waiting for that, while Daniel's laughing like a madman.
Whoa! Look at the satellite on.
Yeah, I see it. Look at that. Look at that huge burst, that huge hot tower over there on the northeastern side of that. Oh boy, this is about to go. This is about to continue, and we have this burst right here that's getting closer to the center, and we have another burst to the north. What's up?
I will say this is the beginning stages officially of rapid intensification. I think this has proven that this is the beginning stages of rapid intensification.
I wonder what the satellite estimates are going for.
I wonder, Recon.
All right, hold on. I think Greg's somewhere in here. I don't think he's joined the VC just yet. Greg, it's live stream VC. It's John. Could you help get him in here? Whenever he's
Daniel.
Yeah.
Why?
Where is he?
His profile picture. Just look for Greg D and just tell him, hey, come to just get into live stream VC. Live stream VC. I'm getting him in.
Greg D.
Yeah.
I wish Recon was out.
Me too.
Oh wow, 950 making landfall. Okay.
For the GFS.
Yep, and a little slower.
That's not good. That is definitely.
It has a 963 millibar storm in about southern Georgia.
Yeah.
Any words on that?
What's
I've never
the pressure
seen
on it?
Georgia with a 963 in about southern Georgia.
I can see it happening.
Has this? I mean, I feel like. I mean, it has happened, but like, I haven't seen it in my lifetime. I don't think.
Michael was pretty similar. All right, Greg's in here. He needs to take a second to unmute himself on Discord. There should be an unmute button if you're on mobile right there, and then you just speak right to the microphone on your phone. So hopefully that helps. Let me check if I can do something real quickly. Okay, no, he's got to unmute himself. Anyway, while we're waiting for him to come on, in the meantime, yeah, satellite presentation gets better and better frame by frame. Well, what do I gotta say? Yeah, just found your channel. Love the collabs. Thanks. Thanks for that. What's up, Daniel?
Nothing more to say.
It really isn't.
Just the fact that we just have to watch this. Where the heck is? Where the heck is? Oh! We got news. The Recon's taking off. Recon's taking off. Let's go.
Oh, we're staying on this. Let's go. Finally.
All right, I'm gonna check. Which plane is this?
Finally.
Is it Teal 72 or Teal 73? I'll check the flight radar real quick.
Wow, the impacts are the GF. It's crazy.
No, flight 7. I'm gonna check flight 72 real quick.
Let's go. Coming out of Louisiana. So, how long you guys think into it?
It's gonna take well over an hour.
Can you guys hear me now?
What's up?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you, Greg. What's up?
Hey guys, welcome. I know this is my first time y'all hearing my voice. So I don't sound too good on air, but how you guys doing tonight?
We're hanging in there. We're tracking the system.
Yeah. I just got a few important little things to go over. If you live in the Savannah area, the mayor has declared state of emergency. Was looking at this kind of earlier today and was looking at the track and looking at the cone of uncertainty. We've been seeing it was kind of veering off to the right a little bit, and we was gonna hold off on the declaration, just stay under the governor's orders. But the mayor did make that choice to go under declare the emergency, which means all our resources is going towards protecting the Savannah and Chatham County area.
All right.
We have sandbags that's going to be available starting tomorrow. You could visit the City of Savannah website for more information if you need it.
All right.
And also, Chatham County is also having sandbags. All our counties that's around us is having sandbags as well.
Yeah.
You might want to check your flood plans as well to see where you live and what location, especially if you in low-lying areas, because we've been predicted to get about 10 feet, close to 10 feet during high tide, which it won't really flood the areas, but in some portions, especially going towards the islands like Wilmington and Tybee Island and the beach side, all of Highway 80 will get flooded. So if anybody live in that area, you want to make sure that you get those sandbags. We got those available.
Yeah.
Also, all the schools are shut down in Chatham County. Also, it may have, depending on how this track goes, and we've been kind of, just like I said, we've been looking at it earlier today, and we've been kind of going back and forth to this thing going right of the cone and what. But if necessary, we will have shelters open tomorrow. If anybody got any questions or anything for me.
Yep. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Greg?
Yeah, just I'm used to live in the state of Florida, so I know that state like anything.
Yep.
If you are asked to evacuate. There's no such thing as heroes or being tough guy and you're gonna stay. Trust me, I've been in storm surge. I've been in Andrew. I've been in David, and I've been in Hugo. Storm surge. If you're 6 foot tall and the storm surge is coming in at 15 feet, you dead. There's no discussion around that. That's it. If you're
That's
6
deeper
foot
than
tall,
an underground pool.
right. There you go. Underground pool. If you are in the underground pool and you in an 8 foot pool, water's over your head, that's storm surge.
Yep.
And I was trapped in the attic during Andrew. It's not fun when the boat rescue have to come and get you. You banging on the roof, running out of oxygen. Trust me, it's not fun. So if you ask to evacuate.
Yeah.
And pretty much that's all I got to say right now.
All right.
We just like I said, we really, if anybody who lives around the metro area of Savannah, also you want to keep an eye on your municipality, just like I said, cityofsavannah.gov. If you're in the city of Savannah area, you could find sandbags and everything else. But that's pretty much it. And thanks, Pat, get to hear my weird voice at night.
It's okay. It's good to have you on. This is your first Pat's Path Predictor stream, and it's so good to finally talk to you about this, because I know we've been interacting with each other in the comments section, and sometimes in very good spirits, sometimes not in not so good spirits, but
not things.
Talking about a quote unquote friend that keeps talking about me in the comments that we both know. I'm not going to name him personally, but
no, please don't.
I know I'm not.
He won't.
I won't. Anyway, hey, it was nice of you coming on.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Y'all. Next time you do it, if you do a stream tomorrow night before this landfall, I may be available, but I might be in the 911 office. But if I can, I join in.
All right. Well, Greg, thank you very much for coming on, and I want to say thank you for coming on here and giving us that information. It's very important that people understand the impacts of that. And I'm sorry you had to go through what you went through with Andrew. That had to have been terrifying to even. I can't even imagine that myself.
Yeah,
And Pat,
it's
we've had
crazy.
a few people now come on. We had a gentleman from southwestern Georgia. This person,
Yep.
having his experience in Andrew, and we do this for a reason, right? Because Pat, you and I, we're from the Midwest.
Yep.
I've personally never experienced tropical weather. You have never experienced it. We're
Me
in
either.
essentially tornado alley, right? And so it would be like sometimes it's like somebody from Florida telling us about tornadoes and supercells, right? Or maybe the
Yeah.
Northeast, I could say, is a better
Right.
example. We kind of brush it off. So it's really important to contextually wrap this around and have somebody from this area really give perspective.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest eye opener was when the person from southwestern Georgia was talking about how really rare it is to see even a hurricane of any strength make it up to Georgia, let alone
very rare.
northern Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that speaks volumes. And I think if there's any major storyline to come of this, it's really going to be the impacts to what could be as far north as Atlanta. I keep saying that, Pat, and everybody here. That's going to be very concerning because think about it. That's probably going to catch a lot of people off guard.
Yep.
Despite the fact that the Weather Service has put out tropical storm warnings for the area.
What's up, Greg?
Not only that, but Atlanta has one of the largest airports. It is the largest airport in the South, and it's a transportation hub, and it's where a lot of our goods come in. If you live in the Southeast, that's where a lot of our goods come in at. Is in Atlanta and Savannah. We are a major transport that ship our stuff to Atlanta.
Yep.
So if Atlanta gets shut down, it's gonna be catastrophic for us. So that's why we've been kind of hoping to shift a little bit off of them guys, but don't know. We just have to see.
All right.
But y'all guys have a good night. I got an early morning.
Yep.
Also, one thing I want to add real quick. It was especially about Southeast Georgia. Southeast Georgia is really prone to flooding.
Yep.
It's really prone to flooding. I'm not talking about Savannah area. I'm talking about Albany, Valdosta, all those guys. So if you actually live in Southwest Georgia, you need to if you live in a low-lying area or trailer, get out. No questions asked. That's it. Get out because you guys is not equipped to handle that. Like how we are on the coastal area.
Yeah.
But that's it, y'all. I'll try to join tomorrow night if I could, guys. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Yeah,
Take
you too.
care,
Thank
man.
you.
We appreciate you on. Stay safe.
All right, no problem.
Stay safe,
be
man.
safe too.
Yep. All right. Have a nice night.
Stay safe.
All right. That was Greg on the stream tonight. Absolutely incredible having him on. Yeah. All right. We have Recon that's finally starting to take off and head over there. I'm hoping we can get something going on where we can get some more data and more information in there. But yeah,
Hey, Pat, how long are you planning on being live?
I'm probably gonna get off pretty soon, so I'm gonna start directing people to your stream, Daniel, because I know you have a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go until like 2, maybe even 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Depends
Can I
how yeah, you can feel free to I might just stay in this VC.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine with you, Pat. Yeah.
But yeah.
For anybody that wants to help out on my end.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel's stream is the link in the pinned chat above, so that way you can go check him out. Go subscribe to him as well. He really deserves it, and he's going to keep streaming.
If you go in your settings,
this, so.
you're gonna.
Yeah.
You go in your settings, you can just do the redirect that way as well. That brings everybody over.
Where's the settings at?
So go to edit, go to customization, and go to redirect.
Customization, redirect, add. Okay.
Search videos from other channels, and you should see me in there somewhere.
All right. I'll look at it. Breaking news. All right. Just getting some behind the scenes stuff.
And that would funnel everybody 970. Who thinks this is below 970 now?
It might be.
It might be.
Honestly, I'll just go ahead and
Who thinks we're looking at almost a category 2?
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Okay. Is there a way I can just copy the link address in there? There it is. All right. I need you to add me to your redirect stuff. So. Yeah. So that's on your end.
Give me a second, Pat, and keep talking for me
sure.
while I get that set up.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I know we're getting a lot of stuff.
On the fly. Yep.
Yeah, we're doing this on the fly. We're going to get you over to Daniel's stream so that way he can keep this up. Go subscribe to him anyway while you're over there. So
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's been helping me out. He's actually an official sponsor on my Patreon, so him doing this tonight on top of everything has been an absolute treat. So I could not thank him more than enough to continue doing this for me. So
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull up
always.
satellite imagery while we're working this.
Yep.
Just so that way. Okay, this is interesting now. Now things are getting frisky.
Noticed.
Very frisky. Well, let me know when you're done, Daniel.
Yep.
You good?
I will.
All right. No, you're not.
1 sec.
Sure. But anyway, yeah, things are getting pretty interesting tonight. This is going to be fun. But yeah, we had Greg on. We had another gentleman from South Georgia on. It's been quite an extraordinary night. Tristan's gone AWOL, so that happened. We've had Weather Kingdom on, and we're getting finally some more recon data to go in, which is the first piece of good news we've had in a while, because this structure continues to get better and better every single second. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's...
When are we going to start seeing the progress of the flight? I'm waiting on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything should be good now, Pat.
All right.
You can try now.
Someone said 100 miles an hour, 2 a.m. update.
We'll have to wait for recon.
Yep. Wait for recon. That will determine.
Pat, aren't you staying up for recon, brother?
What?
Aren't you staying up for recon, brother?
I will be, but I have other stuff to do. I'm also getting kind of tired, so I'm taking a break. I still can't redirect to your stream, Daniel.
Weird.
Yeah.
Should be able to, but...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. I think I need to put my thing in first. Let me go ahead.
That convection burst in the center is very interesting, the Eyewall.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Customization.
Got these clothes. If they're not dumb, I'm going to have to iron in the morning.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, but that's something over there.
I think he's still on Discord.
Yeah, I have it currently set to anybody can redirect to me.
I wonder if I... Control V. I wonder if I need to... I wonder if I need to set mine.
Hold on, Pat. I could try to get in for yours.
What?
Did the stream in?
No, it's not over just yet. It's Tristan. Bro.
I have so many responsibilities. I'm sorry. I was muted the whole time.
You're good. Anyway, Daniel, what were you sending me?
One or two, so give me a minute.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'll help you, Pat.
Send it in live, no mic, whatever. All right. In
the
meantime, though...
to your stuff, so I can try to brute force it.
Yeah, just go ahead and check that. In the meantime, though, look at that convection. It's still wrapping around. We're getting several hot towers now. It's not just that we're getting another hot tower. We're getting another one over here. We have 4 of them.
Bam. It's done.
You got it?
Yeah, you're good. You're good for redirect.
All right.
On your... Yep.
Wonderful. Oh, it's redirect.
I set it for you. I set it for you.
Is it... So once I end the stream, it redirects to you, I guess?
Yep.
All right. Well... In that case, I'm going to let Daniel take over. Rest of the guys at Storms United are going to take over as well. I'm going to take some time to rest and do all that stuff. I might join in a little bit just to help you guys out. So if you guys give me like 10 to 15 minutes, watch Daniel's stream, bear with him
Yeah.
and the rest of the guys at Storms United for a little bit. Then I'll be right back. You won't see my pretty face anymore, but thank you for coming on anyway.
Your pretty face.
So I will see you guys in a bit. I will see you guys tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. I'll see you guys in about 15 or so minutes. Just give me some time to get some water and all that stuff and use the bathroom. But with that being said, Daniel will take over. Have a nice night. Stay safe.